Look, alright, if my heritage followed the Nazis, then so can I. Cut that out, cut that out. Cut that out in
Calm
post.
down.
I'm not gonna yet. I'm not gonna yet. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Autumn Colors Podcast, the podcast that still doesn't have enough to cover utilities. I'm your host, the one who needs a plastic chair because it comforts me, the art Sozo-sha. Today I'm joined with El Exterminator de Demonios, Arashi.
How y'all doing today? Good to be here again.
And today, for the first time, is the one who keeps an array of vibrators with him, Ninja.
Shut the fuck up. Hi, I'm currently fucking sweating like a fucking pig.
I had to say that.
Do you not believe
You'll
this
notice
man's
a theme. You'll notice a theme with this one. And also, last but not least, returning also, is the one who's catching up on reading My Little Pony, Obsidian.
To be fair, you do need a high level of motivation or to read through all of the comics. I'm talking about fanfiction.net, by the way.
Right now.
But hi, though. It's good to be back.
Okay.
Also, what do you mean they're the trend?
El Exterminator de Demonios, the one who keeps an array of vibrators, the one who's catching up on reading My Little Pony, the one who needs the plastic chair it comforts me.
I figured it out. This is all a Maxor video. Dear God.
Oh, Maxor references!
God damn it.
Because Nero keeps a great array of vibrators. V is the one who's catching up on reading My Little Pony. Dante is El Exterminator de Demonios. and I'm Virgil, the one who uses a plastic chair. Dante, it comforts me.
I mean, you say that, but all those do also apply to Virgil as well, to be fair. He's also
Oh my god, you're not wrong!
Also, because of the fact that V is part of Virgil, that means that Virgil reads My Little Pony.
I mean, to top this off, I could have said Arashi is Jeff Bezos.
No, that's Arkham.
Well, I mean, I do try to avoid taxes whenever I can.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
That's a real plot of DMC3. Arkham's just trying to avoid paying his taxes.
Alright, so today we are talking about, if that it isn't obvious from the fucking setup and us discussing it, we're talking about Devil May Cry. So pretty much we're just going to be going through the series more or less, and yeah, we're just going to be giving our thoughts, and more so if there really isn't much to say about one or the other, we'll just go ahead and skip it. So before we get on to that, more so, just wanted to ask, how you guys been?
Alright, can I complain?
As well as I can be in this heat.
I haven't been.
Yeah, it's been.
Haven't been back. Haven't been back here since the Glory podcast.
I've been doing fine. It's been really bloody hot here because this country is not used to heat and temperatures above 20 degrees, and it's been like 25 consistently. I think it's a bit surprising, but yeah, I'm adapting well enough, I suppose. I've always been decent at taking the heat, I guess you can say.
It's kind of been like, yeah, it's kind of been here or there for me personally, because like on one hand, my car's dead and my cat died. On the other hand, I'm going to college in the next couple months, and I'm now an uncle. So
fuck yeah!
Nice, good job.
All right.
My brother though is like I don't want to go into details, but it's like my brother is pretty stressed out in the grand scheme of things, so it's just like but yeah, it's just like more so it's just I was kind of like holding off on saying anything because I didn't want to like just I mean they were keeping it secret, but now more so it's like they have a kid, so it's like yeah. So I'm really proud of them. Like, congrats to you guys.
When that kid is old enough to understand English, show him these videos.
So little nephew, I want you to come here. I want you to watch these, and you tell me if there's a god.
I've seen into the jaws of madness, Uncle Sozo. I think even the kids are weeping right now.
I can't wait for those. I can't wait for like that kid to eventually write about his family in like for a school paper or whatever. And it's like, okay, so what's your under like? We don't talk about him.
But like that's how I was with my older brother. So
It's like it's like what'd your uncle do that was so bad? He's become a PNG tuber. Oh my god, he's the worst kind of criminal.
Dear God, there's more. No.
His favorite Hideki Kamiya game is the Wonderful 101.
He bullied a child on the internet.
God damn.
Yeah, we've all got
All right.
this.
So anyway, we're here to talk about Devil May Cry.
Well, I think the devil is crying already, so.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. All right, so pretty much we can start with so we can start with a few things here. We can start with the mainline franchise. We can start with the reboot, or we can start with talking about the anime. Which would you guys prefer?
I'm fine with talking about it.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm fine with talking about mainline first.
Yeah.
It's the most extensive,
Mainline
one, so you've got
Mainline,
most
yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Mainline
So how about like?
I know best.
And honestly, the anime is one I have the least experience with, so not talking about that one first is
Same
probably best for me.
Yeah. Okay. So how about this?
Funny because I actually own
We
it.
could
I
talk-
actually own it on Blu-ray.
We could next time there's an anime night, we can just decide to like watch a few episodes of it. But whatever.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but how about this? We talk about the mainline first, then we talk about then we're gonna go over the then we'll go over the anime. There's not really much to say, but there is some things to say about it. It's not that it's bad. It's just it's actually all right, but it's just like there's not a whole lot incredibly to say about it. But and then we'll talk about the reboot. We'll talk about the reboot
as
for
far
last.
away as possible.
Yeah.
Look at the reboot.
Okay.
Still a thing.
So, oh my god, Devil May Cry. When it started, I believe it was like coming off the heels of Resident Evil, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was,
If I remember correctly, it's
yeah,
supposed to be a Resident
it's-
Evil game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it
it's
was
probably the
supposed-
most
yeah.
well-known. It's like it originally was Resident Evil 4. That's the most well-known like Fat
Yeah.
series, I'd say, or the first game at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, Resi 4 prototype realized this wouldn't really work as a Resi game. Then they made Resident Evil 5 and 6, which is probably more over the top than any DMC game, but still.
It was around that same time Hideki Kamiya looked at that and was like, I can work with this.
Yeah, I mean he did make
Black to
Resident
red.
Evil 2, so. Yeah, I mean when you actually look at Kamiya's career, it basically just like hit after hit, because he went from Resi to Devil May Cry, Beautiful Joe, Okami, Bayonetta 1, stuff like that.
Like I say, the man knows his art.
Yeah.
Was it Hideki Kamiya who made Evil Phantom, or am I thinking of someone else?
No, that was Shinji Mikami.
Shinji
Also
Mikami.
Resident-
Fuck.
Also Resident Evil guy.
Yeah. Look, alright. They have somewhat similar names, I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Not being offensive, I don't
Touching that
think.
one.
They both have Kami in the
I'm not
name,
racist.
okay?
I'm not racist. These developers all sound alike.
I would honestly,
I
the funny thing is, don't even look that similar because Kami is bald.
I was tempted to quote the ghost story stuff.
Now all of a sudden I'm racist because you say Kami is bald, and immediately I think fucking goddamn
Bald is not a racist, so.
Yoko Taro. That's who I'm thinking of, Yoko Taro, because he actually is bald.
Wait, yeah.
Well, you may as well be.
Have you seen Yoko Taro without the mask?
No.
No, I don't want.
Look, there are pictures of him without the mask. He's bald.
Alright, hold on, I gotta look at this.
We gotta do an episode on Nier Automata, but then just have it be a cover up just to gush about Yoko Taro.
I can talk more about Drinking Guard 1 than I can about Niers, to be fair, so still.
I can talk about the original Nier. I
need
can
to
talk
actually
about.
finish Automata. I've got it on Switch.
I don't have Automata, and sadly, it's not.
I mean, the dude actually has stories behind his belt. Like, he's been keeping a candy bar in his like helmet for days, and he pops it out at a convention and eats it. And then he also and stories like Square Enix wanted multiple takes on the Nier Automata T-shirt. So that's what led to the shit Square Enix.
Yeah,
Like-
you can tell just because how he does sound really exhausted and frustrated. Like, oh my god,
Yeah. God damn it, Square Enix!
it's a T-shirt.
I'm pretty sure
No, it's
Yoko Taro is some form of cryptid that just hasn't been classified. This man can't be human.
He's just IRL
Really?
Deadpool.
I mean, maybe he's just a Persona protagonist. He does wear a mask all the time.
You try to shake his hand, he automatically has a gun to your head.
You try and shake his hand, it just comes off. It's just made of plastic. He just looks down, just looks back up, and then just walks away.
You try to take off the mask, and there's another larger mask underneath it somehow. Anyway,
Okay, so
let's try to get back on topic.
we're never gonna get done with this.
It's definitely Crichton's. Good old Satan May sad. Let's go.
Honestly, I do have to say about Devil May Cry 1, it is the more like... Devil May Cry 1 to the franchise is kind of like Infamous 1 to Infamous, where it's just like, there's an idea, there's a style here, but you can very much tell in time with the sequels, that style got washed out for a new one.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Like-
that style is like more actiony Resident Evil. That's like the main thing with DMC 1.
Yeah.
You can feel it was a
Yeah,
Resident
'cause
Evil game
that-
at one point.
Yeah, because that
Yeah.
was the thing with Infamous. Like, you could very much tell it was like it was coming off the heels of Sly Cooper. And then when 2 came out, you could very much tell, okay, they're going in their own direction with this. But with Devil May Cry 1, I mean, like, yeah, you had like more like everything was more serious, more dreadful, more mysterious, and but at the same time also kind of cool because like again, like I don't think we need to mention it, but we're here, so this fucking scene with the Alistair blade that shoves itself down fucking Dante's heart, and he gets back up just by driving it further through his goddamn chest. Like, that is such a cool scene. I love it so much.
Yeah.
See that scene, you know what kind of game you're in for.
Yeah.
Like, it is, it was like, to me, stuff like that feels like the precursor to the amount of, like, campy and joyful energy that Devil May Cry has, but very much more toned down
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's like the exact opposite of getting Dr. Faust, you know,
Yeah.
in 5. Getting Alistair, it's like, aw shit, Dante's fucking cool. Getting Dr. Faust, aw shit, Dante's an idiot.
Dante's fucking cool. Dante's fucking cool.
It's like the difference between... It's like the difference between holy fucking shit and holy fucking shit!
No, it's not holy fucking shit, it's holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if Dr. Faust was in DMC 1, it would probably just have the images of the hat flying her and stabbing Dante in the chest. You know, I would pay for that.
I will say, like, the story about Devil May Cry 1 is interesting because it's both, to me, forgettable and memorable in the right places.
There are literally only 2 cutscenes I remember from that game. One is Alistair, and the second one is I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
To be fair, I will also take Dante calling Griffin Flatter face and tell him to fuck around and find out.
That's true, dude.
I
I also like the what was it? It's like the Alistair scene is one, but also like the opening scene with Trish trying to kill Dante.
Yeah,
And next to
that's
that-
a pretty cool scene
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next to
that's
that,
good.
I do like, even though we really don't get much insight on her throughout the series, I do like the scene where it's like Trish is asking, you know, why did you save me? And he's like, because you remind me of my mother. And he points a gun at her. It's like, look, you might look like her, but you will never have her fire. I like
tried to
that, but
kill
it's like at the same time, we don't ever really get to see Dante's mom.
Well, she's dead. Well, her being dead does kind of put a wrench in that.
Like,
Yeah, but I mean,
I know, like we do see her a bit in 5, obviously, which like got flashbacks and that.
we
but,
do.
I mean, it's kind of like without doing like massive
but
fucking
the only time
continuity
you
stuff,
get
like
to see her face is like,
as in
We do see
5
her
and like some
face.
pictures, like 5 and some picture frames and that. Yeah.
Yeah, like at least like with 5, it definitely confirmed her face, whereas with 1, it honestly hid her face, and we had to go just by
there
what
was,
Trish looked like.
No, there was like they showed like a picture frame right after they revealed like what Trish looked like, just so like you got the image of, oh snap, she looks like her. So that means it's important. somehow.
I don't know. I think for some reason I think they might have like I don't know. They may have like in that portrait they might have like had like a light shined over a particular character. I don't know.
No, like I've literally replayed DMC. I've
it's
literally
been
played through DMC one before this, but like it shows like as
okay.
Trish, she turns around, shows her glasses. Dante has like a shocked look in his face. Then it literally shows like her picture frame in frame of her, and it's like literally just the same face in that, just to show you like what the connotation is there.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, no, I played through like
Next
most
to
of the
that
games in
is
preparation
also-
for this for the first time.
Then there's also like I think one of the more interesting aspects of it, Shadow Dante.
Shanti.
Shante!
Wait.
Yeah.
Shante!
Wait. Wait a minute.
Shantae turned into a genie girl.
You know what? I can
You're
see
saying
that.
you
You know what? Give him like a dance battler like style in DMC 6. I'd play that.
Isn't that just like Trickster? Just turn Trickster into...
No, Trickster's. Well, no, Trickster's more dance. It's more like just not dancing and dashing around the place.
Yeah. No,
They
no,
already
turn-
gave him. They already let him be Michael Jackson in 5. Okay.
Yeah, but I want that to be his fighting style. Alright. What's that one, like, I think it's from Tekken, like that one guy who uses fucking breakdancing as a... as a fucking...
Oh, Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo.
Yeah, Eddie Gordo.
Or Christian,
That
I
or
guess.
Voldo from Soul Calibur.
or Majima from Yakuza 0.
I can work with that too.
one of the
Yakuza
recent
0 is not a
examples.
fighting game.
I can...
Yeah, it's like either DJ or Jamie from Street Fighter 6.
Oh, fucking... I want to get Street Fighter 6. I'll probably play either DJ or Luke.
Duke.
Luke, because...
That or just wait for the DLC and get Rashid, because Rashid is the GOAT. The GOAT man.
Look,
Alright,
alright. There's one character I'm waiting for in that game, and that is Q from Street Fighter 3.
You think he's gonna make
So-
it? No, that's the question.
I hope he does.
The ultimate.
Honestly, I'm
Alright,
still
fair
waiting for Rufus to come back. I'm still waiting for Rufus to come back.
Anyways,
Okay.
So,
So,
ultimately, what do we think about Devil May Cry 1 as a whole?
from what I've played, because I didn't beat the game. I got like
Yeah.
probably a 4 for a third way through, and then I skipped until 5. But I
Yeah.
do know about some of the others. But from what I played, it generally does play well.
Mhm.
It plays really well. Sometimes the camera angles can fuck you over, in like
Mhm.
certain rooms, but that's just a product at the time. Overall though, I think it's a decent game.
oh yeah,
Honestly,
oh it is.
yeah, same. Honestly, but honestly, that's the thing about DMC 1 is like it's very good as a start to the franchise. You can see like groundwork being laid for it, but you can tell it's like the first game of not just like this series, but like this type of action game, basically this style of it. So it's laying the groundwork with it, but it's laying the groundwork that's many other games that are gonna like be able to build off and improve basically. I know it's just some jank because it's going from the Resident Evil fixed camera era into this new PS2A one. That's the term. That's the legal term for it, I believe.
Keep playing through
Yeah,
it.
and like you can tell they're kind of figuring out as they go with it, but just as good as like a first attempt. It's like 7 out of 10. I'd give it if I was gonna rank it or something.
Yeah,
7 out of
that sounds right.
7.1. You can see where it's how it started, where it came from, and what it's trying to do, and makes you excited for what's to come.
It's got a big lava spider in it, and that's pretty epic.
For
Bumps that up from 7.5 to an 8.
yeah.
Still makes it a
For
7 for me,
me-
because fuck that fight.
Which one?
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh,
Spider fight?
Yeah, spider fight. The one in like the church.
Yeah.
That fight fucking sucked.
Oh,
Yeah,
the first one. No, honestly, like the best. I've just discovered the best strategy for dodging its like swiping attack is like just hit him, then fucking jump onto the sky. I'm not joking. That dodges it like every time, basically.
By the way, this is how you defeat bosses.
Well, aside from perfect.
All right, so as for personally on my hand, it is a part of that era of Capcom games where it very much was in the sense of like there was a particular style to them, not necessarily in terms of like atmosphere or tone. It was more so in gameplay, where it's like Onimusha, Resident Evil, and Devil May Cry, like stuff like that. It was very much in the sense of like you could tell it's like, you know, they gave you the story and context and everything, and they gave you like, you know, directions of, hey, this is where you need to go or this is what you need to do. But it was also very loose with that, because anybody who is just like more accustomed to games going like, hey, you should go to here specifically, or having a location on a minimap or some shit, or having something blatantly pointed out, it makes it really hard to figure out. It makes it at times hard for people to figure out. It's like, okay, where the fuck am I supposed to be going? And it's like, it aside from that, it also has like it's also part of that era of games where it's just like the game basically said like, hey, if you're dying too much, if this is too hard for you, you want to try easy mode, you fucking loser.
You know, because
it was part of that era.
Yeah,
like if you died
around
too
the
much,
same
it went
time
like,
as God
oh
of
wow.
War.
Yeah,
No,
it's like, okay, this game is too hard for you. You want to try easy mode, baby?
Well, I say around the same era, right? Because God of War was on PS2, right?
Yeah, God of War was on
PS2.
PS2.
It's like 4 years after, but yeah.
Yeah, I still count that as the same era.
Devil May Cry had 3 games by that point, mate. That's all I'm saying.
And 2 of them were good.
True. And on that.
Speaking of which,
holy shit. That's a transition.
Okay, so I have to ask, do we want to talk about 2 or?
No, I'd like to.
What is there to talk about?
Part of the series.
Okay, I will say this. I will fucking say this. I gave 2 a shot. For an hour. I gave 2 a shot for an hour. I could not get past the fucking opening level. And it wasn't even like a monster or anything. I literally did not know where the fuck to go. I had spent an hour trying to look at where the fuck to go. This game fucking sucks at directions. I thought Devil May Cry 1 may have been a little difficult in terms of where you know where to go, but eventually I found my way. This game tops that bullshit, so you know what? In my opinion, fuck 2.
I'll be honest, I did not have that issue. I've beaten Dante's story in it. I need to go back and beat Lucia's at some point, just for the sake of
Wait, there are 2
masochism.
fucking stories in it?
Yeah,
There
there's-
are 2
there's
stories in
Dante's
it.
and Lucina's.
Okay, so I know, so I have played about like as much as Sozo did. So I didn't know that.
By the way, if anyone in the call or anything, or anybody who's watching this is wondering who the hell is Lucina,
Maybe that's a clue as to why no one talks about Devil May Cry 2.
Well, to be fair, honestly, when you hear about have you heard the stories of DMC2's production? Like this.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't have like
Holy
an actual
shit.
working build until like 10 months before it came out, right?
Six.
yeah, I think so.
At least.
Fuck!
Let's go like this.
It is up there. It is up there with like the. It is up there with the biggest like terms of like crunch stories next to like Halo 2. Although that's a lot more infamous.
No, like honestly, it's even more than that because the people who worked on it literally came from, or just people who came from the arcade division, had no experience with not just console games, but even like games like Devil May Cry, because the first game wasn't even finished when 2 began production, just because, you know, Capcom looked at it, so like, this game will probably be pretty damn good, get us a lot of money. So they had no idea what the hell they were doing. The director, whoever the hell it was, the first one, if you still don't know, basically had no experience when it came to actually, you know, or at least had, well, obviously wasn't like, maybe more than likely had no experience with it, to the point where when the guy who actually got the game finished, that's Hideaki Itsuno, came on, basically the only thing that was finished in it was Dante's Stinger animation. That was the only thing that was finalized in the game by then.
Oh my god.
And that was 6 months before the game was due to ship, with an unmovable release date.
What?
Oh, that poor Itsuno, you poor
That's
fucking nerd
awful.
worker. That's how you know he's
That
the
man-
It's just that-
killed the franchise.
it's just that moment from like Code Ment where it's just like they're like doing behind the scenes for Man in a Box 2, and it's just like you have Nami going, "All I have to say is thank God it wasn't the editor." Cut to Usopp, and he's just bawling his eyes out.
Get what they did. Get what they did done, and it managed to. I mean, let's be honest. The only reason it even managed to sell well was because of the cover, right?
Yeah.
You know, the Devil May Cry. That probably helps quite a bit as well, I imagine.
You know, I have a physical copy of DMC2 on the PS2.
I have the HD collection, so unfortunately I have it combined with it.
I have far too many copies of Devil May Cry in my house just by accident.
You open the door.
He is sitting on a throne made of DMC1 games.
DMC1 and DMC. Honestly, no, whose biggest issue? Honestly, whose biggest... Sorry, just then, whose biggest issue is just like how fucking easy and boring it is, and Jesus Christ, you can tell they were like stitching together whatever they could in those last 6 months, because there is like no fucking story in that game whatsoever, like even less than DMC1's, which is impressive.
So here's
Honestly,
the true question.
I feel offended by that because you say it's easy and boring. Meanwhile, I couldn't get past the fucking opening.
Honestly, mate, I mean no disrespect, Sozo, I am genuinely surprised to hear that, because like it's
I didn't.
It's like a straight line for the most part. Like,
very hard to get
like
through.
they show you where you're meant to go for it, and it's just kind of following like a pair of paths leads up to it. Like, I'm not to be a dick, mate. Just
you know what? Okay, you know what? Okay, I will say this. I will give you this. It was possible. I skipped the opening cutscene. That might have done me in.
I think they show you
that
where
might
to
have
go.
done me in.
I think they show you where to go like in a couple of cutscenes after, but I could be misremembering that. Because honestly, like DMC2 is like it's not a good game. That's kind of the biggest issue with it, and you know it's not good. It's boring as sin. The only parts people remember of it are that one cool line from Dante and the main villain saying that he's going to be the king.
Yeah, okay, I remember that. I remember that from.
Here's the question: Which do you think is worse? Which do you think is worse, DMC2 or DMC remake?
Oh, DMC2 easily. Like no,
DMC2, because at least in the fucking reboot,
it plays well.
The reboot. No, the reboot. Himself,
yeah, okay.
Okay,
we'll get to the reboot. We'll get to the reboot later.
We'll get to the reboot.
We will get to the reboot later. Because we still got the mainline series following up with... Yeah. Honestly, what I believe to be is the second best game out of DMC next to DMC1. And, of course, we'll get to another one, but we'll get to that later. DMC3.
Can I say one last thing about it, too? It probably has the best Dante
one last thing.
It has the best Dante outfit, I will say that much. Like, Dante's DMC2 outfit is fucking sick.
Okay.
Yeah, DMC2 Dante outfit is good.
Unironic praise for it.
Unironic, yeah.
Anyway, on to...
Yeah.
Anyway,
DMC3
game.
DMC3.
In fact, that was the first DMC game I ever heard about, and it's from a very odd reason. It was from an old countdown video that was on, I think, Games Trailer back in like the 2010s, counting down the top 10 hardest games of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, the video is still up, but I think it got re-uploaded because like 2016 when it was put on YouTube again, but it's like, basically it's how I learned one interesting thing about that game in particular. The Japanese normal mode for that game the Japanese hard mode for that game, is listed in the American release of it as normal mode and the original PS2 release.
Wow.
When you're playing DMC3 with the original American one, if you're playing normal, you're playing on the one that's locked until you're meant to have beaten the game and gotten good at it and all your upgrades.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it was okay, for context, I think how we were talking about the whole you're not doing good at this, why don't you try easy mode? I have if you heard this poem, I love you. Roses are red. Chocolate is delectable. You are not worthy as my opponent. Easy mode is not delectable.
Personally, I think it's a skill issue, Dante.
The first fight with
I'm
Virgil,
surprised none of you are actually saying it. Like, the fucking hard mode, normal mode, cut to Virgil. Where's your motivation?
You're not
just-
motivated, Dante.
Maybe if you didn't spend all your money on pizza, you'd actually be able to afford some decent skills in at your job. What? And he just says what, and then Virgil just tries to fucking attack him.
Dante,
Also,
I know
like,
you
I-
like that shit with pineapple.
I went back and played DMC3, and honestly, I gotta be honest here, Virgil is not as sympathetic as I thought he used to be.
He's sympathetic when you know his backstory, but DMC3 doesn't present a huge amount of that, I think is the thing.
Yeah, cause when you really consider his main goal, like, it just fucking, like, to quote Kagado, literally, he wanted to open a portal to the netherworld just because he has daddy issues.
Honestly, it's not even daddy issues, it's more just he wants to steal daddy's gun closet, so to speak.
Daddy issues.
Or steal daddy's knife collection,
He's
I guess, I don't know.
He's just trying to reenact his version of Pumped Up Kicks.
All the other kids with the putt kids, you read my fucking mind. I was about to say fucking putt kicks, and you beat me to it. Same brain, dude. Same brain.
Goddamn brain.
Honestly, Virgil is someone who gets by a lot just because, well, he's really fucking cool and he's really good at kicking your ass. That's the main things that he gets in DMC3, I'd say.
Honestly, I think the reason why people vibe with him so much is just Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, he was a character.
Honestly, I don't know what it is about Virgil. Like, there's so... Okay, this is something that's bugged me with him, because there is so much about him that looks like it should just be, like, generic, edgy anime rival. Like, he should fit so many of those fucking cliche boxes, and yet... I don't know what it is, but even just, like, in the games where he's playable, something about him just clicks and he works. And I couldn't tell you what
I think
it is.
it's probably because he's related to Dante.
Not even just that. Like, well, even honestly, I'd say that makes him more cliche with it. It's just like everything about him, like how he fights, like even like down to his fucking like design, his voice, and his entire playstyle and fighting style. Just something about it clicks with it. I don't know if it's just because he's almost like he doesn't feel out of place. Like he fits into DMC's world and tone really well. Like he's serious, but he's still
almost
like,
kind of it almost kind of feels like.
Like,
It
if I
almost
could-
kind of feels like they took sort of like the characterization for Dante from DMC1 and put him more into a different light with Virgil.
Honestly, I think it's more.
That's what it kind of
DMC.
feels like.
I think, honestly, the biggest joke, I know if we finish with it, but one of the big jokes with DMC2 that people have is that it's this game where you're playing as Virgil just dressed up as Dante. Which, honestly, is pretty fitting. And to be fair,
Honestly,
if this was like a nightmare he's having, then it being DMC2 does make sense.
Honestly, and I will say this, I honestly, like, you know, like, Dante back in the days, kind of like, Dante in DMC3 kind of has that energy of very much of what, like, a mid-2000s cool protagonist was gonna be. Sort of the guys with the quick liners, the guys who are like, yeah, no talking, and the guys who are, it's just like, this party's getting crazy, let's rock! Like, the very try-hard type, mid-2000s Linkin Park type dude.
The thing is, like, even the game's like aware of it because like it does a lot of stuff to make Dante seem like a dork even with that. Because right after he does that "Let's Rock" line, he walks up to his jukebox, presses on it, and it's fucking broken. So he just mashes the button that just like goes to attack them.
The only way you can make that better is him just going, "Ay!"
Like, when he marches out to beat a bunch of demons, he looks all cool, then just fucking sneezes, and his entire shop falls apart behind him, and he gets pissed off.
Or the fuck, I forget if it was like from 4 or 3, but the scene where it's like he shoots a bunch of like projectiles as a heart and then just throws away a rose and explodes.
That's
four.
That's DMC. You see, that's Dante leaning in, being cool because he leans into that goofiness. Like he's aware that he's aware that he's a dork and he fucking embraces it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But ultimately, when it comes to DMC3, I like it a lot in the grand scheme.
It's
of
really,
things.
it's really good.
And it serves as a really good like prequel to the events preceding DMC1, and be honest, it's just like it even though I say, you know, like, Dante is tryhard, he also has that, like, second side to him. Like, when he has to, like, talk to Lady about, you know, the whole thing around his business with Virgil, he drops the act and he's actually more serious. And I'm just like, I like that because it helps, like, keep him more full flesh. Like, yeah, he's tryhard, but it also shows that that's just kind of that's just kind of the personality he chooses to go with when he's just not taking anything seriously.
Yeah, because honestly, there's. Sorry, go ahead, Arashi.
No, I was like, no, yeah, when you see that different side of him.
Yeah, it's like honestly, like the big thing you hear with Dante is that like one of the biggest theories I think is basically that his entire the goofy over the top persona he puts on is just like basically just a front or coping mechanism he uses because when you look at Dante's life, the fact he's not a complete fucking broken wreck is like a miracle. Like just everything that's happened to him ever since he was like 8 years old, basically.
Honestly, I kind of think he is. He just uses the tryhardness and don't give a fucking like campiness just as a defense mechanism.
Yeah, that and the fact he's got people like, you know, Trish and Lady around at least to, you know, people at least he can bounce off of and hang out with.
Dante goes up to Nero and goes like, you know what they say, laughter today keeps the depression away.
Dante, why
oh my god,
Dante, why do you eat pizza all the time? I always eat pizza when I'm feeling sad, but you always eat pizza.
Oh my god, I want to be that scene from I wanted to be that scene from Across the Spider-Verse where you have like just a multitude of different Dantes, and then just like one of them is in a therapist's office, and then I looked at my mom's face, therapist Dante. Let me guess, she died.
And it's reboot. The catch is that at least one of them is reboot Dante. I'm not saying which one. You can use your imagination for that.
Also, let's just I just want to say, can we agree that this game absolutely set the standard for not just like the tone of the series, but also the fucking show off of weapons and everything?
Oh, absolutely. It's like it sprinted so that 4 could keep on going at the same pace, and 5 could fucking leap, basically.
Leap. Yeah, no, that shit went to the moon.
Not just leap, do ballerina cartwheel and every shit.
While fucking with a bike.
Fucking with a bike.
That's not for, you know, I'm gonna say that's not for a couple of games. No, he does fuck with a bike in DMC3, which then explodes.
And I will say, even though we're not talking about it, yet, I feel like them adding the bike in 5 is sort of the response to that cutscene in 4 where he drives a bike into a building. And it's just like, you know what? We had an idea for a bike here. Let's just work with it. And that's what they did in 5. But we'll get to that.
It's perfect.
It was in DMC3, but let's not tell him that.
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about like the full on like bike as a weapon. Like DMC3, if I recall, like like he uses Lady's bike in a building, but it explodes.
Yeah, that's right. That's like probably what inspired it. I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I feel. That's what I'm talking about. And as for
fair enough, but honestly, yeah, it's set standard. Yeah, set the standard for games. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what happened there.
Also, like, oh damn, it's just like I feel like the ending honestly is one of it actually is pretty strong in the grand scheme of things. Like the final battle between Dante and Virgil, and the whole thing where it's just like after everything, Lady is just going like, "Are you crying?" It's just, of course not. Devils never cry. And then she goes, "Well, you know, sometimes it's just the rain. You know, sometimes the devil may cry." And yeah, it's just like I honestly at the time I thought this was gonna be like it. I thought it was like, this is it. Like this is like pretty much there. I don't really know where else to go with this series in the grand scheme of things. It feels like everything is said and done. It feels complete, albeit with 2 being the sore spot, but 1 and 3 ultimately felt like honestly a satisfying collection of games. And until
Dante had to go to the Vatican.
Yeah, you know, someone made a joke. You know that scene at the start of DMC4? Considering the entire cult there worships Sparta like as God, that there is basically the equivalent of Jesus suddenly crashing through the roof of the Vatican and shooting the Pope in the head.
that actually there there actually is a reference to that in the Bible, not in that context, but there's like okay. No, Jesus came in with a Smith and Wesson, and they just said, "And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee."
He's 72 hours later, he's back, and he's pissed.
No, okay, so what I was trying to say is that in the Bible, there is a story of, and they don't talk about this in Christianity, but there's a story of people who make
much.
Yeah, they don't talk about much, except the stuff that they want to. But there's a story in the Bible where there were these people who built a church, and they were basically like, all right, so let's get money from the locals in the name of God and everything. Jesus came in and is like, no! None of that! Shame on you! That's actually what happened.
Nah, bro.
Unquote.
Nah, bro.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's what happened.
My boy Jesus kicked down the door wielding an M16 in one hand, AK-47 in the other hand, said, "Fucking beg."
Just sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
He just puts a fucking his Smith and Wesson on the table, looks him in the eye, goes, "Fucking try it."
Or it's just that scene where it's like the robber comes into the house, he sees the person who's at home with a giant bag of money and a shotgun in hand. Just go on, take it, try it. And the robber just going, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Where does Jesus fit on the DMC power tier list? Okay, so.
And Dante can
DMC
beat him up.
Devil May Cry would absolutely ask the question, could Jesus microwave a burrito so hot he himself could not eat it? And they would absolutely ask that question.
I wonder if Jesus ever came to just hang out with Dante in his shop and that. Just like make burritos and talk shit.
Is Jesus where Dante gets all his moves from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he gets pizza. No, that's where he gets the pizza from.
Jesus' Pizzeria!
It's just Jesus wearing like the robes, but just like a really goofy mustache on, like a fucking French one.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that mean Jesus is Mario?
No, I was thinking the Luigi mustache.
Yeah, no. He is depicted as a dark-skinned Middle Eastern man that is also portrayed as a white man that also in this connotation runs an Italian pizzeria and has a mustache.
I've got it. Michael Jackson. So Dante is Jesus from DMC5. He finally graduated. I'm so proud of him.
One on the rating knows too much.
All of a sudden, all the religious fanatics are gonna look at me and just like treat me like Jaden did, like they did with Jaden, where it's just like she made a joke about where is your God now, and all of a sudden they just caught her out for blasphemy.
Nah, bro, this is my religion now.
Yeah, no, we can't get religious here. This is a people's chat. So anyway, DMC4.
Yeah, but enough about religion. Let's talk about religion with Devil May Cry 4.
Let's talk about the Catholics.
Yeah, make that one.
Oh my god! I want that to be the case.
Nah,
Dante shot that fucking priest because he was Catholic. He knew what he did.
He was the head of them. He was literally the Pope in that contest.
The Vatican's down. Let's go. Actually, speaking of the Pope, apparently when the Pope dies, they take a tiny little gold mallet, tap him on the head 3 times to make sure he's dead.
What is this, Looney Tunes?
They have to say, they need to just dunk him in the head with it. It's not even symbolic, just think it's funny.
And I feel like sometime in the Catholic history, someone has done it with enough force just to make sure he's dead.
That's it.
That
Probably
or
after
like
probably after one of the really good ones or really bad ones, I'd hope.
that or like maybe grab a fucking like claw hammer and just
Honestly, the worst part is if you go through history, then Sanctus probably isn't even like in the top 10 of worst popes there's ever been.
Yeah. Okay, so in Devil May Cry 4, I'll be honest, I know 5 answered this, but I'll be honest, even before that, and I've said this before, when I played Devil May Cry 4, I already pieced together that Nero was Virgil's kid.
it's pretty obvious.
I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Like fucking Berserker Pete, like, Pete gave me just like, oh no, everyone knew. It's just like, really? Like, his connection to the Yamato? Like,
honestly, I think people either thought he was either Virgil's kid or Dante's kid. Like, one of the two, basically, just with all the connections between them.
I think
personally,
I think the fact he also put a blue.
Or he's the Josuke in the situation, then Sparta fucks someone else off screen.
I think the fact that he wears blue like Virgil, you know, the thing with like the hand in the Yamato, like, come on.
yeah.
And
And also,
also coincidental.
I just want to say, I think it's funny at the end of the day where the character where you ultimately think would be a fuckboy has actually never had sex, and the character that is the most serious and like just absolutely like no shit type character actually has a kid.
You'll get no bitches, Dante.
Where's your bitches, Dante?
You weren't sexually motivated enough, Dante. You weren't sexually motivated enough.
I can't do a Virgil voice. I just sound like a fucking terrible mafioso.
Yeah.
And two, when they said a storm was, and two is said,
I am the storm.
and two when they said it.
Dante.
Sorry, in three, when they said a storm is coming, they weren't talking about the weather.
The storm is approaching. Virgil's just over there thinking like,
Yeah, I am.
he is 19. That would 100% be something that appeals to him or thinks is cool.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Virgil's canonically fucked. That's pretty rad.
Do you think that when Dante and Virgil were younger, they were on DeviantArt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. At least Dante like would revel in the. At least Dante would revel in the DDR. It's just like, oh, that's nice.
Well, when does DMC take place? This is a genuine question.
Next question.
DMC5 takes place in modern times. We don't really have a set year. We just kind of know like how much time has passed roughly, because I think Dante's 19 in DMC3. It's like in his late 20s in 1, sometime in his 30s in 2, even more in his 30s in 4, and he's in his 40s, so like about 25, 30 years roughly. Like, enough time passes between. And also, like before DMC3
these,
and 4
and also they're also like and also they're half demons, so there's that longevity. So they might be older than that, but
That's true.
maybe. I mean, Dante does get older, but you know, I mean, there's also the fact that you know, ladies around and she doesn't look like she's in her 60s. I'm just saying she
looks pretty. I'm not gonna lie. In 5, she looks pretty good for her 60s.
Yeah.
Oh come on! As if I was the only one thinking that shit.
Oh, she's an anime character then.
I wasn't, but okay.
Would make you a shrivel
Sure you
up.
weren't.
Ninja, you're in the unique position that no matter what age lady is, it's accessible for you. That's all I'm saying.
But you gotta learn her secret.
Gotta learn the secrets of like MILFs.
But yeah,
Look, Ninja, you're not gonna get in trouble with the cops when, alright?
Yeah, but
Oh, I live in Ohio. This is just usual for me.
I find it weird that Dante has not canonically had sex as far as we know, but somebody like Agnes has, that weird scientist guy. He is canonically
yeah.
He knows too.
because Nico in 5 is his daughter.
Dad.
Yeah,
He knows two women, and he knows two women, and ultimately he couldn't get to fuck them.
To be fair, it is Dante, so regardless of, I don't think they would go with it either way.
And also, one
Lady
looks like
might
his
be
mom,
friends
so there's an Oedipus complex right there.
Yeah, Lady might be a friends with benefits. That's jury's still kind of out on that one. Like they just kind of do it like because they get bored one night.
Let's hope that Hal doesn't have the same sort of regulations as Alabama.
Oh, who cares?
I like to believe that lady's version of being a friends with benefits is she just comes over and shoots him in the head.
And then steals his pizza.
And then steals
Honestly,
his
that probably offends
pizza.
him. That probably like, upsets him more, to be fair.
Yeah. Look, I can take the headshot, but I can take you giving me head, but for the fuck's sake, did you have to take my pizza?
Yeah, we can.
As for like Nero, more or less like I don't know, like the way he presents himself, like his character, I feel like when you actually draw the connection of him being Virgil, it is a little more believable. Because yeah, like Dante
Or
is
very
sort of a
shitty.
try-hard, like he's a try-hard, not give a fuck character that also has a serious side to him. But I mean, like Nero, like yeah, he has a fun side to him, but he's still more like serious. He's more honor-bound in a sense.
To be fair, he was literally like, you know, a part of basically a paramilitary group for like most of his life as well. Like, or at least like
Yeah.
you know, castle guard basically. Like he's part of the army basically. So you know, he's at least got
Yeah.
rebellion, but he's got that discipline in him anyway, and he just you know he's got a better head on his shoulders compared to like just all the shit Dante's been through.
Yeah.
Mm.
He has this level of like responsibility that he places upon himself that Dante, well, he does, but at the same time he also doesn't really give much of a fuck.
Yeah, like Dante himself is someone who somebody summed it up best. Dante is someone who he'll help out, but only if it like is something that interests him. Like even in canon, he doesn't take like normal devil hunting jobs. It's just stuff related to demons or his family. Nero's the type of person that would just like help you out regardless because he's a normal guy. He's just a good guy basically.
And just
Got a bit of an attitude. He's can be kind of a dick sometimes, but he's nice
Like-
enough.
Okay, Nero is the type of guy, if there's a cat stuck in a tree, he'll just jump up there and get him down. Dante's the type of guy where if there's a cat stuck in a tree, he'll just either shoot or cut the tree from its base. Go, alright, there you go, your cat's rescued,
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah, like this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, I'm aware, but like in the intro to 5, like the entire insane incident happens because Nero sees a guy standing outside his garage who looks like he's hungry. Just like make some small talk with him and then just invites him in for dinner basically. Just
Yeah.
in case he's hungry. Like he's a friendly guy.
Yeah, he
he
does
wants
have
to
like he does have an ego. He does have an ego. He does have confidence to him and everything,
chip on
but
his
he's
shoulders,
still
yeah.
a decent guy.
Yeah. It's just kind of a shame that he happened to be. He was a protagonist in the game. His game was initially quite divisive when it came out, just by virtue of. It's kind of like the whole Metal Gear Solid 2 situation, but like much less severe. I'm aware, just of, like new protagonists.
It's
replacing the
not
old one for most
Dante,
of the game.
therefore it's not the same.
Well,
Right,
well,
it's
okay,
just
we
for-
have
for
another game
most
in
of the
which
game.
that actually correlates, which again we will get to later.
Yeah, but like honestly, I think the biggest issue with DMC4 is like, you can kind of tell the game was kind of rushed, especially for like its latter half, because basically everything from mission 12 onwards is either a repeat or just like a basic arena for a boss fight.
Yeah.
Basically everything with Dante that you play through, aside from like, I guess the savior.
Yeah. It kind of like and that's we're about to get to this, but I kind of do feel like that's where like 5 sort of did have more of a like 5 went down that route, but it also like sort of fixed that.
Well, even then, like 5 at least had the benefit of like having a lot more original stuff in it because, fun fact, when you give Hideaki Atsuno a budget and time to do what he does, it turns out really fucking well for you. You think Capcom would get the hint after some point, but they understaffed him and didn't give him enough time for 4, which is why basically Dante just goes through the inverted castle for his half of the story.
Also, can we just say until 5, this was the most memeable Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah, no,
still,
like
everyone loves. I love the fucking unironically, I fucking love the goddamn theater production that Dante and Agnes have.
Oh,
Like, the
yeah.
first fight. You summon and kill.
And not to mention
yeah.
not to mention the iconic line. What the
What
hell is this?
Yes. I love that scene because look at like if you look at the way that like he's gesturing, he's just like so fucking done with it.
Yeah! Like, wait. You look at Nero, he's just like, oh, wow, wow, what is this place? It's so beautiful. Dante, what the fuck is this shit?
I mean, to be fair, look at the cavern right behind you is a snowy fucking castle. I think that's pretty justified a reaction.
Yeah, it's just like, but Dante has that fuckboy energy of just like, you can't tell whether or not that is the energy he was going with, or more so he was just going with, I was enjoying the snowy caverns and whatnot, and then you had to ruin it.
Honestly, the funny thing is, this is kind of a bit of a mid-whiplash, but like, okay, this is kind of going into something that's a bit of a theory with fans, is that Dante, I'm fully admit this is fully fucking self-diagnosing, that short and sweet, he like is depressed basically. That's like the biggest fan theory when it comes to Dante, when you like look through across like just symptoms and that people have noticed with him. And one of the things with DMC4, and like not to go too much into it because it is like just a theory, but people like notice his attitude. Like at the start of it, he's all kind of quiet, like he is in 2. But then he sees Nero, and after that, he basically like springs to life again, like as if he realized, that kid looks interesting, or he could be something related to me. That kind of gets a bit of spark back in his life, which
honestly,
it's
like
they kind of compensates throughout most of 4.
I wonder why he might be depressed.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if you actually consider the context to the ending of 3, I feel like, well, not confirmed, I do feel like that theory does hold water, considering that he's literally the last, he believes himself to be the last of his own kind, and then he's like, oh wait, this kid has some devil in him as well. Well, this will be fun.
Yeah. Sorry, it's not even just 3 either, but like, in 1, he realizes who Virgil is right after he fucking believes that he killed him, so... as far as you're concerned, his brother disappears for a decade. He realizes right after he killed this guy, oh wait, that was my brother. And then DMC2 takes place right after it. So that explains why he's so quiet throughout it.
Yeah. Like, DMC3 works as a prequel, mainly because, like, this is what some series have a problem with, in the grand scheme of things, when they do, like, prequels or retellings, is that, like... Okay, I will say this, like, I know we're not talking about this, but fucking X-Men Origins Wolverine is a example of what not to do for a prequel. Because the Wolverine in the beginning is the exact same fucking Wolverine in the rest of the movies. Whereas with Dante, he's a tryhard, he's a jokester, he has more of a serious side to him, and then when he kills his only brother, and pretty much he's all alone, in Devil May Cry 1, all of that is kind of stripped down.
It's kind of like, let's put it like this, DMC3 is Yakuza 0, DMC1 is kind of like Yakuza 1/Kiwami. That's like the main thing I can think, because honestly, 3 is considered the best game in the series, is the one that like convinced a lot of people to try it out. Probably has one of the best stories and like characterizations for the main character, like his arc. Well, one more than the other in this case, but to be fair, Virgil's kind of the Kiryu in this case, because he didn't get as much development, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, DMC4, Dante being all wacky woohoo pizza man is just because he realizes, ooh, I'm not alone. I have relatives.
Yeah.
I got family.
Wacky woohoo pizza man finds family.
You hear that? We have options!
We have Dante, we have relative of Dante. There was options, didn't say there was much of them. Honestly, DMC4 is kind of frustrating because it's really fucking fun gameplay wise. It just kind of has like obviously that issue with it. Also, some of the boss fights aren't that fun. Sanctus, you can go fuck yourself for the record.
Yeah.
Hey,
I will say, okay, like, and again, I know 5 more so like corrected on this, but it would have been more interesting to like. Sort of like everything that Dante did almost everything that Dante did in regards to after the scene where Nero loses, like just cut straight back to like Dante helping out, and then make an entire side story or even DLC, considering that this released on the PS3. Make an entire side story or DLC around like Dante getting up to that point.
Yeah, I don't honestly, I don't know, just because it's honestly just kind of a thing of how much budget and time would that make, because bear in mind, this is like mid-2000 Capcom as well, so this was like pretty much right after this is when they were like conceptualizing the reboot, part of that whole thing that Keiji Inafune was trying to push with them.
Yeah.
Basically that whole like Western push that kind of fucked Capcom over for like the next decade and the next 7 years basically, up until like, I want to say Resident Evil 7 came out. Something like that anyway, but... Yeah. I don't know. It's wishful thinking, but at this point, you've got the special edition, which at least makes DMC4 the best version of itself it can be in this case, with like the stuff that we have with it.
Like overall, like years down the line, it's still like a good game. Like I don't think it has. Okay, the writing I do think is good. And I do like a lot of stuff, especially, oh my god, we haven't really talked about this. The acting is, like...
Yeah.
It varies from game to game.
Honestly really good.
I'll stand by. I think DMC1 gets a lot of flack just for Dark Soul with light. But honestly,
Yeah.
I think Dante, Dante and Trish's voices in particular, like, I think, granted, most of the demons you can't really understand because, you know, they sound muffled to hell, but I don't know, I think Drew...
Without subtitles, yeah.
Coombs, I think his name is. It's like COOMBS. He does pretty damn good as like a more serious Dante. I feel sorry for the guy who
Not to mention, like,
because he got like 1 minute's worth of dialogue.
Not to mention, I think, like the other actresses, like, in DMC3, Kate Higgins as Lady is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and, like, I think like, most of the demons are played by either... I forget her name, it's like Mary Elizabeth something is, like, that one female
Mary
demon,
Elizabeth
and the rest...
McGlynn?
That's the one, and I think most of the other ones, the male ones, are voiced by Larry Leong, I think his name is. I don't know, I've not heard of him before, but he does good demon voice. And obviously,
it goes without saying because I know it goes without saying because I know like every single one of us at least have heard of Persona 4, but Johnny Young Bosch as Nero is fucking great.
Yeah. He's a fucking... Also, I like how people notice that the main three characters are all basically tied into Power Rangers in some way or Sentai stuff. Because I'm not joking, because John Young Bosch was like in the original series. I think Dan Southwark, who's Virgil, was in Time Force, and I think Ruben himself was like a stunt coordinator or helped with a lot of stunt work in that, and like maybe not the American stuff, but like the Japanese Sentai stuff, with like his production company, I think anyway.
Power Rangers crossover one.
Also, fun fact at that Power Rangers event, at a Power Rangers convention, is how Dan Southworth announced that DMC5 was happening in like 2015.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like...
But yeah, like...
I don't know, like, when it comes to Nero, Bosch brings this, like, legitimate energy of actual seriousness, but also, like, legitimate fun energy to him, where it's just, like, you come across the one mad scientist character with, like, a stutter, and he's just, like, it's just, like,
why are you getting mad? Just because of the way I talk?
Talk. I forget. I don't know, yeah. Agnes is
yeah,
great. Agnes is... If we could make profile pictures for that, I would have picked him.
We can do it
next time I have you guys on, I'll ask if you want to request something for a profile picture.
Yeah, fair enough then, or just like if we can do gifts or whatever, that would be something, but I'm not sure if that's possible. But yeah, I think he's played.
It should be possible.
His name TJ. I think the guy who plays Agnes is named TJ Storm, I believe.
TJ Rottola?
No, that was Credo.
That's Frank,
Nero's brother.
No, see, I only know TJ Rottola for playing Frank.
I mean, okay, to be fair, they're both Capcom, so it's possible.
Exactly.
Like,
how the fuck do you spell Rottola?
Was also Ken. Rolento. It's another Street Fighter reference. Wait, no, he's Final Fight. Fuck. You know what? Both. But yeah, right. I think Liam O'Brien is Sanctus, the main villain in 4. I think so. Anyway, it's somebody whose voice is familiar.
No, that is definitely Liam O'Brien. I recognize that voice everywhere.
Yeah, same here. Like 2008 especially. Like he was very active around then as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Finally, he finally got the experience to play Infinite and Sonic Forces. I'm so proud of him. when you're going from one edge, to be an edge case, just need to play the Pope at one point.
Look how far we've come.
But yeah, 4's a good game. That's the main thing with it. Like if I was ranking it, it's like still above 1 and 2. I'd put it, but like below 3 definitely. Like the first 4.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good place for it.
Yeah. And also, I just want to say it. Like one of my favorite scenes is definitely the opening when he gets the Red Queen out, or when he gets the blade out, and it's just like. Just Nero's default like stance when it comes to fighting is like he puts his sword up and then he revs it like an engine, and I love the interaction between him and said, "What's the point of having a sword if you ain't gonna use it?" Dante takes his out and just goes, "Took it, fucking jackass."
Also, I don't know how I would say controversial, but I don't know if anyone cares about this, but in Sports Special Edition, you can actually pick between a few different outfits for like all the characters. Nero has like a prototype outfit where he has like this big purple jacket on, and not gonna lie, I actually prefer how it looks compared to like his default outfit. Like it looks distinctive, it looks cool. I dig it.
I think it makes sense as well because he
like a
is
purple-
sort of
it's
like
like-
an in between of Dante and Nero, or not Dante and
Yeah.
Nero, no, Dante and Virgil.
Dante-
Nero.
Dante. Yeah, no, he's a mix between himself. I should never have brought up Persona.
Nero, you moved too fast.
Shut-
You moved too fast, Nero.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. I talk too fast for my own good. I'll never fix it.
So, I wish I were doing it last, but like, do we want to do the games like release order wise, so we do the reboot next, or we want to do 5 after this?
Well, we said the main line. I think because we have been talking about it, we should probably talk about it. Honestly, we should talk about 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say it. I'm just gonna say this right here. I'm just gonna say this right here, completely 100% unfiltered. This is my favorite game out of DMC.
It's the best one.
Nothing but the
It is.
spiciest takes today.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
like-
you'll anger that one DMC2 fan.
Honestly, I think the more like controversial opinion is like, what do we think? Like, what do we think of Subhuman? I guess like Dante's theme. That's where like I'll get more of a reaction. saying
All right, you know what?
Dante's the best
Okay, you know
one.
what? No. I'll bring up on that because you know what? A lot of people have put down. I've heard people say this is like Subhuman isn't bad. It's just mediocre compared to Devil Trigger and Bear
The
the
least
Light.
good.
You know what? Fuck y'all. I think Subhuman kicks ass.
Thank you!
I can appreciate it.
Fuck you, Ninja. Fuck you.
What do you mean?
Honestly,
I'm
Subhuman
agreeing
can-
with you.
no, the issue. I think the issue
Oh! I thought you were going like.
Wait a minute.
I thought you were telling me fuck me because
I
you were
said
like
thank
Subhuman's
you.
better. Oh, because
No.
here's here's why I said it's like Subhuman's better. All I hear was fuck you.
No, I agree. I like Subhuman because it reflects Dante.
Yeah.
It's just unapologetic on what it is. It's fucking like I don't really know what genre you'd classify it as. Would it be like grunge?
industrial metal, I think.
Yeah,
is a good
industrial.
way.
You know.
Industrial heavy.
Honestly, you know what? No, do you know what? Do you know why people hate Subhuman? It's because that's the version that's in the game is not the first version of it, which sounds
Yeah.
a lot more
and people-
streamy and had really bad audio mixing.
Yeah.
Also, I think the singer had some really bad allegations put levied against them, but I don't want to talk about that. That was after the fact. But like, honestly, Subhuman's a good song. My opinion is actually I don't like Crimson Cloud that much. V's theme, like outside of the intro, I'm really not just a fan. I'm just not a fan of the vocals of it.
Honestly, I don't remember V's
V's.
theme all too much.
That's the problem with it.
Yeah, no, all I can remember is like, yeah, exactly. All I can remember is like the opening part.
Honestly, the lyrics themselves, it's different types of metal, but it's just not one that I vibe with.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not like,
Like,
it's not
I-
a
like-
bad song composition.
And then I don't think any of us need to say anything about Devil Trigger and Bear. Like they're both fucking amazing.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and I noticed this when I was continuing to play, but I love how adaptive the music gets. Like, when
I know.
enemies are nearby, you hear the beginning of the song, and when things actually turn up, and the higher your score gets, the more, like, it actually gets into the chorus. Like, I got, like, an S when I was doing, like, Subhuman, I got the chorus, and I was like, yes, I fucking love this. And not to mention, it's just, like, I feel like...
Get better.
Yeah, get good. I also feel like with Subhuman, it has one of the biggest
That's my
introductions
person.
when it comes to fighting enemies. Just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I love that. Just how fucking just how fucking rough and harsh it is. I love it.
Honestly, like vocally, it's not even that different from Dante's other themes, which are very like growly metal when you actually listen to them. Like,
Yeah,
is this any
especially his
different
DMC1 theme.
DMC3. No, I'm thinking more DMC3, honestly.
Oh, that
I
too.
can't remember how his 4th theme goes.
I mean, they were both a part of that. They were both a part of that time period. So.
Yeah, true enough, like that early. Which DMC kind of relishes in that, like that kind of unironically kind of embraces what's cool about that, while also kind of, and it knows like it's a self-aware series, but
Yeah, like, and that's why I feel like that's why respect overall of DMC is like it knows it's cliche, it knows it's tropey, it knows it's campy
goofy,
and everything.
inherently
It just has
goofy
fun.
over
It,
yeah.
it
Also,
has good fun with it.
Also, and since we're going out with all the hot topics like DMC5 good, gonna throw another one out there. Oh damn, this game is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah,
Visually,
yeah,
holy
absolutely.
so
shit.
good.
It blows
God,
everything.
I
Like,
can
the
I
orange
can
is
actually
good lord.
count the amount of stubble hairs on Dante's face.
I know, right? You can fucking like, you can. I think you can see like some of Nero's pores. I think if you like pay close enough
Also-
fucking attention, like
Also, we're gonna be getting to this, but honestly, I feel like they because apparently due to like Dante's later on in the story when they show Dante again, they do canonize the anime, and I do feel like
Yeah.
Dante in 5 is very much more closer to like a mixture of DMC 1 and DMC the anime Dante. Like he's still kind of try hard, but you can tell he's very much more laid back.
He's like a more mellow version of his. Like he's less over the top goofy compared to 4. He's like, honestly, he's probably the most balanced. He's like the Pierce Brosnan to compare him to something. He takes elements from all the other Dantes before him and just kind of becomes this like quintessential Dante effectively in terms of personality. Like he's all the best parts of the previous ones. Like goofy, like he's goofy. He's over the top. He has his more melancholic moments. Has like that sadness and serious side to him. Just when things get dicey or something serious happens. Knows when to dial it back, basically. But yeah, best Dante is DMC5 Dante. Repairs DMC4 outfit, but still good Dante.
Yeah.
I prefer my gay cowboy. Thank you. that's relevant for the next game we talk about.
speaking of
Obsidian is supporting gay rights.
let's
Damn
go.
good.
Anyways, speaking of Dante's outfits, which outfit do we think is the worst? Cause
Good question. Honestly, good question. Good question. Main series
For
only
me-
mostly. Like ignore the reboot.
yeah, just main
Yeah.
series.
That's
Because
like-
reboot is
that's like-
easy. For
I'm gonna
me,
say,
I think
honestly-
it's 3. I think it's 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I would-
3, honestly.
I'd say 3, but it's the least good is more the thing of it because they're all good outfits.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
okay,
I-
okay, so yeah, they're objectively good outfits. It's just like in a lineup, I feel like 3 is like the least good.
Because it's just like the jacket with like the
It's an odd design for it. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
that was
it's
ranked
just
as
like
sale-
it's just the jacket with like the weird holster looking things. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
Like if I was ranked,
Like,
how would
he
you rank the
doesn't-
outfits? Actually, that's the question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. I feel like DMC 1 and 2 has this more like Bram Stoker, like a Nosferatu
Yeah.
type vibe
Yeah.
to it.
It kind of like stayed in. They kind of like stayed in the more horror element, like the more horror or unsettling elements. But just like oh, you're dealing with
Yeah.
demons. It's all spooky and unsettling atmosphere wise. Which, not sure how much
Is-
that's intentional for 2, but still.
What is the difference between Dante's outfit in 2 and 1?
It's completely different. Like his outfit in 1 is like all red and that. Like he's basically wearing like a big long trench, like a big trench coat with like a big black patch in the middle for his 2 outfit.
Oh
I'll post
yeah.
pictures for it. I'll post pictures for it in the chat just so you can see them. But like,
I'm saying that because it has been a while
But
since
trust-
I've played either of those games.
Yeah.
I still have the fucking devil trigger dance up. I forgot. I'm a fucking good images.
Yeah, you could definitely see if you look at like DMC 1 Dante and then go to look up DMC 2 Dante, they are very different. Like, cause like
Yeah,
with
it's like
Dante
night
in
and day.
DMC 1, it's all red, but DMC 2 like pulls back on the red and goes for more black.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, like. And DMC2 he just doesn't have a shirt on because he literally just grabbed a jacket and chucked it on and went over to go see what's up with the tower, with that big spooky demon tower.
Yeah.
and then fucking DMC5 is just your weird uncle got off work.
Yep. Dante looks
Hey-
like my dad, and I don't know how to deal with that.
I was gonna say it's gonna be you in a couple years, Sozo.
Oh, fuck.
I know you're playing me, but you're probably right, honestly. You're probably right. I will concede that.
Just make sure when you do go when he gets to his job, don't come crashing through and shooting his boss in the face. That's probably not really a good first impression.
will
It's
burn your-
gonna be even more relevant if I actually get a bike license.
A bison.
Not
A
even like
motorbison.
not even like
Bison.
not even like a license for. Not even like a license for motorcycles or a license for like choppers or anything. No, just a bike license. Just a license to ride a bike.
So you can ride your bicycle.
Bye.
One of my favorite.
Bye.
Honestly, my two favorite DMC5 mods, like aside from the chair, obviously, because that should be just canon, honestly.
That's art.
One is Dante's bikes.
Okay.
One replaces like his big super bike with like a fucking pedal bike that he's riding on. And the other one just like gets rid of the model entirely, so he's just doing the crazy frog. Like he's just riding around in midair and that, like destroying things with like literally fucking nothing beneath him, like flying through the air.
It ultimately pisses me off that the plastic chair is not an actual in the game.
It looks too well made. Like,
Honestly, I think,
And it's
you know
you
what I think? You know what I
motherfuckers had a Michael Jackson scene prior. You can go out with this.
yes,
they
Dante,
should
I
have
need the chair. It
put it in there
comforts me.
officially. They should have put it in there as an update.
Honestly,
Yeah.
do you know what it probably is? It probably was like, considering it's probably like just a random background element someone took and then just pops into the scene. So it probably is actually in the game.
Yeah,
So it's just like a fucking
Yeah.
garden chair.
I would love to
he
believe
was-
that. Like as soon as
he
the
was
tree,
like fucking
I like to believe that as
evil
soon as
or
the tree was being made, he just came across like all this different patio furniture. On top of that, he pushed it off. He's just like chair.
I like the implication it's yours and who got it. Like, even his deepest, darkest demonic side realizes, I can make this
Patios.
work. I can't fit into
Patios.
it, but it looks comfy.
Like the
I
chair-
just
Oh my god, mod at the fucking start with the first boss with yours and he's just in a giant plastic chair.
I'm having like a flashback. You know that like okay, there's a video online of an animation where it's just like a bunch of like a couple guys hacking someone's laptop and everything and looking through like his webcam and looking at what he's looking at, and like some guy comes in and is going terrible. Why? Earl, we took a look at this guy and we're hacking into his picture, and all he's doing is looking at pictures of monkeys for 17
I know
hours.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, like what, I just want there to be that with Virgil. It's just like all he's doing is looking at pictures of plastic chairs for 17 hours. Just like, what the fuck is with this guy? Cut to Virgil. Patios.
Do you think that every time,
It's
like,
it's
you-
what- plastic.
every time Urius isn't fighting the crew, he's just looking at plastic chairs on like eBay?
Yes, yes.
No, he's trying to recreate that out of Clive Hoffer's. Like, he's trying his best to recreate it, but he can't get it right, so he just gets pissed off and, like, punches something or throws it away.
This one's
Also-
not wide enough.
Master Eurus, and everything in here is blah! He just throws him and fucking yeets him out the tree.
just all you hear is, that one's too expensive, not big enough. God damn it, that's the
Black.
wrong shade!
That one's too cheap.
It's like no, too expensive, too cheap.
Is
Black.
white. How the fuck do you get a chair that's purple white? What the fuck is purple white? Well, it's William Afton fucking selling this.
Honestly, I know we kind of skimmed over it, but I have to say, the fucking bike scene. I know, like, more or less, I kind of seen it with Maxor, but Maxor's video does not do it justice, because when I saw it, I was like, dear God, please take me now.
And then you get to use the bike as a weapon.
The moment I realized that, I was just like, oh my God,
Oh.
please, where's the tissues? Bob, where's the tissues?
Oh God! Oh God!
Fun fact, by the way, when DMC5 was initially revealed, Dante riding the bike in that cutscene was the first time they showed him on screen in that trailer.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, back when everyone thought
I-
it was
I-
a reboot.
Yeah,
I deliberately, sorry, I'll let you finish on this, but I deliberately avoided any trailer for the NC5 because I didn't think I was gonna get it. But yeah, sorry, Rashi.
No, yeah, when everybody saw that single thing end scene of Dante on the bike, everybody just lost their fucking minds.
Yeah.
It
Honestly,
was
I didn't care about spoilers because it was like E3 and that, and honestly, I didn't really give much of a shit about DMC5 when it was revealed, or DMC at all. But I was happy to see it, but didn't really, it's like, well, I'm not gonna play that. It's too tough for me. I'm a baby. I'm a baby boy.
I'm a little
A
bit
fucking baby.
And now I've played both the games in the series on normal, so still baby, but I don't know, baby who.
I don't know.
baby who
I was
goes ball.
not really like. I was interested to hear DMC5, but I was just like, I was not really interested because it's just like I didn't own it. Like at the time, I didn't own a PS4. At the time, I didn't have like a good computer, so it was just like I didn't really know what to do. And now I got a Steam Deck and it was on sale, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And it's one of my favorite games out of DMC.
Yeah,
Absolutely
like
my
it's
favorite.
it's the best game, I'd say. Like it's the reason I was saying to go back and play the other games. Which, granted, after I played, I've had the most fucking eclectic order for playing the DMC games because it's going 5, 4, the reboot, then 2 Dante, then started 3, then beat 1, then I'm going to finish 3, then do 2 Lucia.
Man, out here.
It's not the most conventional order, but that's basically how you should watch Star Wars movies. Just like one and just go in random orders. You get bored.
Isn't that what they did to make the Philosopher's Stone and Fullmetal Alchemist?
Yes.
Sure.
You're gonna say that honestly. That's all I know about Full Metal. I thought you were gonna do a fucking Harry Potter reference, but then I realized, oh wait, Americans, you don't know what philosophers are.
No.
I was casting fucking Wingardium Leviosa.
No. I know what a philosopher is. It's that funny guy on Twitter. I think you talked about something
That's,
about making like a chicken
no,
coop
oh,
or
it's-
Ninja.
It's about my good friend Philip.
That is-
Oscar.
In layman terms, that is what we call a Nazi.
I still follow him.
You have to slide inside the narrows it down.
You have to
Look,
slide this
alright.
idea how little that narrows it down.
Look, alright, if my heritage follows the Nazis, then so can I. Cut that out in
Calm
post.
down. Calm
I'm not
down.
gonna yet. I'm not gonna yet. Let's be real. Let's be real. If people actually think all Germans are Nazis still, they need to have their head examined.
Exactly. Not all of us are.
no hope for those kinds of people.
Yeah. Did you know that? Most
Look, if you
Japanese
actually
aren't
think
very
if you
imperialistic
actually
right
think
now?
all Germans are Nazi, if you actually think all Germans are Nazi, then why don't you just take a trip on my train? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Take a trip on the train, take a nice shower afterwards. You'll have a nice time at the summer camp.
It's quite ironic that the people
Pop it
of
to my
the
oven.
Empire so so fascinated with bottoms.
Maybe we can learn some baking along the way.
But yeah, DMC5. Very
Oh
good game.
shit.
None
None of this is going.
I'm keeping it in. I'm keeping it in. I want people to know that I edit these videos and I deliberately choose what is and isn't kept in. I'm keeping that in because I think it's funny.
Okay,
Just
here's
so I
another
can
look
look
in. We're getting a
bad.
fun fact. Did you know that of all the V's summoned in DMC5, Shadow is the only one that is not a boss that you fight in that game. He's just a mini boss. I don't know why the fuck Phantom isn't there, but I guess Etsuno doesn't like. Maybe he's an arachnophobe. Who knows? Or he doesn't like lava spiders specifically. Who the fuck? Wait, who can say? He's an odd man.
Yeah.
Who the hell doesn't like lava spiders? Fucking lava spiders.
Lava spiders
I-
in rock. I don't know. I like him as well. It's the scorpion tail that kind of throws me off. Just kind of pick one. Look, you're focusing
Pick
too much.
one
Pick one.
arachnid,
Pick
not
one.
fucking. Not both.
You're a spider boss. You're not the first boss in Sonic and the Secret Rings.
You're not special!
That joke was going over everyone's head.
Of the three four, if we count the Virgil DLC. Who was your favorites to play?
I have not played as Virgil yet because I need to actually get Special Edition at some point. But honestly,
You
probably
can
Dante.
get the DLC to play as him for like $5.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm just. Too
I gotta
lazy to
say
go buy
Dante
it.
too.
Like Dante's the high skill, high reward character, but just
Yeah.
Yeah.
automatic stealth switching is the best thing to ever happen to him. Like, it's so good they literally added it into the re-release to this like Switch version of DMC3. just like so you can switch
Damn.
styles on the fly. It probably breaks the game in half, but still, it's good as like a fun option.
They really did the Don Kirby mod.
It's like starting Resident Evil 4 with a bunch of rocket launchers.
Yeah.
Nah, it's like starting Resident Evil 4 with the hand cannon.
No, the Chicago. No. Chicago typewriter.
Chicago typewriter.
Chicago. I can't. Why the fuck can I start saying it? Chicago
You
typewriter.
can't say. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
That's my
The
tongue
Scottish
twister.
can't say- the Scottish
Chicago.
can't say
Yeah,
Chicago.
Scottish people don't know what the mafia is. It's my favorite man, Alan Capri's son. That's not. I would say that's terrible. We don't know. So did anyone else have anything else to say for DMC5?
I mean, I guess going back to what I was trying to start out with, like favorite character. I think I like Dante the most, but also Nero with like the certain arms that you get, is fucking therapeutic, quite frankly.
And V.
V is just playing as Eddie is just playing as Zato 1 from fucking Guilty Gear. All right, except you have no command normals. You can't 16.
Honestly, if we're coming to 5, here's how I figure.
Yeah, we'll figure
I will say this, ultimately, in terms of, enjoyability for the characters from, easiest to, the most funnest, I would say V, Virgil, Dante, and Nero.
I've yet to play as Virgil, but Dante, Nero, and V for me.
I need to actually play as Virgil at some point because he does look fun as shit. To be fair, but
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm trying to finish off the rest of these games first without getting burnt out. So I've still got a couple of basically 2 hours worth of 3 hours worth of content to go through before I get back to that.
Yeah,
I will say that the reason I put Nero above it is not necessarily the arms, but more so just the last level I played with him, because it gave me the satisfaction to be able to block Virgil's attack with the double trigger. That set my neurons into fucking overdrive. I loved it so much.
Also, I like Virgil, but there is something therapeutic about just hearing his own son get to call him a fucking asshole. I tell him to go fuck off. There's just something magical about that. He's earned that after he stole his art.
Yeah.
I think my list is V, Nero, and Virgil, but Nero and Virgil are basically right next to each other, and then Dante.
V's my least favorite of the three, I'd say, but Nero's, they're all still fun. Just V's the least. He's the most hard to play. Is the main thing. Just his style.
He's the least hands-on.
That's
my issue.
When I first tried him, it was ultimately I liked it when I first tried it because it was just oh my god, this dude can do so fucking much, and it's just making me feel like a god. But the more I played it, the more I was like, okay, kind of the effect kind of wore off.
Yeah, he's the most.
He seems like he has a lot, but
he's the slowest. He's the slowest and also the most big brain to play, I'd say. Which I suppose is fitting.
He's the zoner of the group.
Yeah,
he's the weakest canonically.
Here's what I'm saying. He's fucking Zato 1 for all of us all 2 of us, I think, who have played Guilty Gear. Down to having Shadow Demons.
For those who have played Melty Blood, he's Mario.
Okay,
yeah.
So the question is, what's your V? In that case, what's your V summoned is being named Eddie?
No. Oh, are you doing it? Which one is Ed and Eddie one?
No.
I'm fine with that.
Literally.
Let's do it. No. I want to do that. I want to do that.
No. Hold on. Before we do that, but literally, the Shadow Demon that Zato 1 has in Guilty Gear is literally called Eddie. I'm not fucking joking.
That's why that's what I was going for there. But to answer your question,
I know, but I also had to ask because that is just too funny of a joke not to pass up.
Yeah.
So Eddie's the crow. Eddie's obviously the crow, right?
Griffin.
Yeah.
Ed is always I'd say his nightmare definitely. Double D's kind of a stretch as Phantom, but he's the only one that fits. You know what? No, Griffin's kind of like a mixture of the two. He's got Eddie's Eddiness, and also Double
D and Phantom have something in common. They're both pussies.
Exactly. Yeah. And they wear black. Think about it. Black cat still, but it fits.
Fucking black.
He's also powerless without his he's also powerless without his hat. It's just his core is the entire body in this case for Double D.
I mean, when you get the hat for Dante, you can put you can just put a hat on Panther the Panther.
Okay.
So hey,
Yeah. Also, the fucking hat, right? Dr. Faust. That weapon is so fucking fun.
it is like I will admit, like it is enjoyable, but it also is like I feel sometimes the risks outweigh the benefits because it is very much, especially if like you haven't upgraded everything. The cost is literally red orbs.
Yeah, at the start, it's pretty bad, but like once you upgrade the thing where it's like you get more red orbs from hitting enemies, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is good shit.
Yeah, and I don't think we actually talked about more so like the weapon reveals in this game particularly. More so.
Yeah.
Like I know we talked about the bike, and we did.
I've not played 5 in like a year or two, so I need to actually remind myself what they're like for the most part, aside from some of the obvious Dante ones in this case.
Nero doesn't really have any like weapon reveals because he always has Red Queen and he has like other arms, and like the most they'll do for weapon reveals is just like fucking. Oh my god, I'm blanking on her name.
What weapon reveals does Dante actually get though? Like he gets the bike, obviously. He gets Faust.
He gets Faust. He gets the bike. He gets the nunchuck. Yeah.
He gets the bike. He gets the nunchucks.
Cerberus, doesn't he? Which and
yeah,
I just realized that's a reference to
he gets the what's the sword called?
He recreate. No. Okay, so Rebellion breaks, and then he makes his own by killing himself and becoming like a new Devil Trigger. So he gets a Devil Trigger sword.
Yep, which, fun fact, that's actually a reference to DMC too, since he got that same form in there when he was nearly fucking dead.
Yeah, and he also starts out with Balrog.
Yeah, which is basically just the boots.
Which is just basically Bale with the mesh.
Yeah. Which
I won't lie, it is just fun to go Eddie Gordo on that with Balrog. It is.
Honestly, like
fucking I love
there, but
that weapon.
Like give me a fucking full game, give me like a full fucking gameplay mod of DMC5 or like Dante styles, but it's just like either Kiryu or Majima style switching. Majima preferably. Like literally styling all your opponents with that.
Imagine if someone was skilled enough to make like every time you switch a style for Dante in DMC5, it switches to a new skin.
No, I've got it. Just someone
just like a new skin, and then like as it goes, it's just like one of them being Majima. Just like as you switch, just Kiryu-chan, and then just it goes straight to Majima.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Someone actually has done a mod of like DMC5 replaces I think Dante with Kiryu.
There's a mod that I saw where it replaces Nero's Devil Trigger with the Berserk armor from Berserk.
Nice.
And also
there's a mod
and also a obligatory mod of the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah. I saw like there was this mod I did see. I tried to get this in the game, but modding for the game really hasn't been implemented for the Steam Deck. I tried to make V's book the Death Note.
My actual favorite mod, one that replaces V's book with the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book.
I was gonna say, hopefully there's a mod that replaces. I was hoping there'd be a mod that replaces the book with Kakashi's like manga.
Porn.
Yeah, the porn. All right.
Even summoning for dummies.
Actually, no, I just realized
now that you've just said that, I am. Now that you've just said, I am I'm actually upset with something that I've just realized. We're never getting a mod with V that replaces his summons with Ed, and Eddie now. Just like doing the same thing, but it's like
give it time.
3D models of them.
Give it time. No, it'll happen.
Here's the thing: someone could port the models from fucking that. No, there was like this old Cartoon Network MMO, and
I know what you mean. Fusion Fall.
Fusion Fall.
Fusion Fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, get the fucking janky ass GameCube models, distort them to be like fucking a bird.
I need to see a T posing. I need to see a T posing Eddie fucking shock enemies.
And it's like has the same voice clip, so you get him yelling like, "Get on!"
Bro,
Oh,
you,
you're some
you
kind of
summon.
chicken.
You summon. Isn't Shadow the big guy?
No, Shadow's the fucking panther one.
Nightmare.
Fuck. Is he Nightmare then?
Yeah, Nightmare. Edge
Yeah, yeah.
Nightmare.
You summon Nightmare, right? And all you hear is the Horeora Subara Subara.
No, it's like it's Ed's voice but really deep, so it's like howdy neighbor.
No, it's
Oh,
Ed.
a
Like when he's
woodpecker.
angry. It's Ed when he's angry because there's a rock in his shoe.
Or just constantly him going, slide on the slope, slide on the slope, slide on the slope. I really hope this takes off so that eventually it catches the ear of a modder so that they can just go, you know what, that sounds like a good idea.
This is the sort of thing that will show up in 10 years. And everyone's recommending.
I'm hoping.
Ed may cry. Ed may cry. Eddie may cry.
Ed'll may cry.
Eddie may cry.
Oh, no, it's, oh my god, replace V with Ralph. Ed boy may cry.
Lives have many doors, head boys. Never again will Ralph.
I
was catching up.
Ed boys. Oh my god.
Heal your wounds. Heal your wounds.
Away with you.
Get strong, Ed boy. Heal your wounds, Ed boy. We'll finish this later, Ed boy.
Nero boy, shut up.
Discipline. Do you live in a cave? It's just like V's normal voice, normal speaking voice, but it gives like all of Rolf's voice lines.
Yep.
Are you prepared for the almighty 3-shoe beating?
Ed boy.
Life has many
My
doors, Ed boy.
My name's Nero. My name's Nero. Stop it.
I was thinking like, hello, Nero boy.
Ned boy. Ned boy.
Also, I found out by accident. Also, I found out by accident in this game. When you're going through a level with Dante, if you actually go into a particular side room, you can get Lady's rocket launcher, like from the original, like from 3. And later on in the game, when she gives you like a. Yeah, I actually I found that out when I was cutting down buildings, and I was just like, oh man, what's this room? Oh shit! Wow, they actually kept in Lady's rocket launcher, and then when she actually gave me like the new and improved one, I was actually fucking dual wielding rocket launchers.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the one. I thought. Okay, so I know which one you're talking about. Like, oh, you get the one. I didn't know there was a second one.
Yeah, there's like you the one I'm talking about. You think I'm talking about like the one where it's like you get in because of the story, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of that one. No, okay, I didn't know. Okay.
The level where you are supposed to like cut down buildings and whatnot, there is a particular room in one of the buildings that you go into the side, and there's just an item with question marks. If you get it, that is Lady's rocket launcher from the original 3.
And you fucking dual wield them?
Yeah, you can dual wield them. It's a hidden weapon you can unlock if you just have 2 of them. It's awesome.
Fuck.
Yeah.
There's video footage. I recorded myself live doing it. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah. So, I guess, is that everything with DMC5, or do we have anything else to talk about that we can think of?
Overall thoughts on DMC5?
It's an amazing game.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic. It's Tsuno's magnum. It's Tsuno's best fucking game. He went into that game with the intention of make the best DMC5 game I possibly can. And you know, I think he might have succeeded with that. Best
Make the best
game.
DMC5.
Unfortunately, a DMC beat game, so you know we'll have to give him. We'll count him for like half points.
Yeah, no, we all know the DMC game of all time is obviously the remake.
Well, we are getting really close to that. We're getting really close to that, because we gotta, before we do that, let's talk about the anime for a bit. So, who here has watched it?
I've seen a couple of episodes with it. I own it on Blu-ray, but that's it.
I know it exists.
I know it exists, that's all my knowledge on it.
I know there's a...
Okay, so to those who... Sorry.
Sorry. I've seen one episode where Dante plays the guitar, and it only sticks out to me because the song he plays kind of sounds like the final boss theme in Mega Man 03. Like
It could be a reference. Could be a reference.
It's Capcom, so it's possible. Like, it has the exact same fucking opening riff, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I know which song you're talking about.
You mean Super Mario World? You mean Super Mario World?
Then he just starts playing Witch Doctor.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. We're gonna get copyright claimed.
Anyway, Arashi, I know you've seen it. You have any thoughts on it?
Well, I for one love it. But that's just my biased opinion.
Bias and opinion mean the exact same thing.
Okay, I will say this to those who haven't actually watched the anime. The best way to describe it is essentially take Devil May Cry, and then take the, Cowboy Bebop, and then take Samurai Champloo. That's basically, what the series is like.
Yeah, I know, Dante looks very sad in it. Is he quite sad in it?
No, he's actually very, lazy and laid back. So they make a whole point of, the whole thing around Dante is, they do highlight it in 5, where it's he is broke, he doesn't have, money, and he constantly pays for, and they added this in the anime, he pays for pizza and strawberry sundaes. He takes... He takes bills, he takes, paychecks, and account of, he can be able to buy, strawberry sundaes and pizza and everything, and it's, he's basically just the go-to guy to solve, the demon issues and everything. That's what he's treated as. And, he very much is, more, nonchalant, calm, and collected in this. When it comes to, But it's not like he's sad. He's ultimately sad or anything, because they added in this new character, Patty, who, when she actually decides, you know what, I'm gonna stick with Dante, she starts living with him and eating up his food and then spending his money on new clothes and shit. And he gets pissed off. It's first off, my place is not supposed to be cute. This is my place. And also, they make it.
Yeah.
Done.
And fun fact, by the way, Dante's always broke because of something that happened in the DMC novel that was very sad.
And in the
DMC lore is
and
very
in the
sad.
anime, they make it a point where it's just Dante gets money, but the people around him constantly steal it. There was an episode where Lady and Trish actually meet for the first time, and their way of basically essentially kind of thanking Dante is buying a fuck ton of expensive clothes and sending the bill to his place and expecting him to pay it off. He's the guy that, he's surrounded by girls, but they constantly fuck him over.
And they don't even buy him dinner first.
Yeah,
He can't afford it.
Dante's not exactly a picky eater, to be fair.
Okay, but what have we seen him eat other than pizza?
Strawberry sundaes.
Strawberry sundaes.
Strawberry sundaes.
Yeah, that's also food.
There is a scene in the anime.
There's milk in it as well.
There is a scene in the anime where he throws a dish at a demon, and then he just eats without even chewing or chewing in one gulp. Eats just a giant ass fucking pizza in less than a minute.
That's years of
Yeah.
You see it. It's just well, that's the quickest time I've ever eaten a pizza before.
That reminds me of the side story from Yakuza 0 where you have to deliver a pizza. Fucking Kiryu in fucking seconds eats the pizza whole and you see him fucking squirming. They had to animate it's from a far shot. You see him put his hand up, put the pizza in his mouth, and then you see him unfold.
Considering what they animate in that series, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, hyper realistic bread.
I can't wait to see hyper realistic Ichibuns in Like a Dragon 8, or I guess Infinite Wealth it's called actually by this point.
Can we get hyper realistic pizza?
I'm not joking, by the way. Have you seen the reveal trailer? No, have you seen, this is off topic, I'm aware, but have you seen like the reveal trailer for Yakuza 8 or, you know, Like a Dragon 8, I guess?
No, I'm trying to stay blind.
Okay, basically it has Ichiban, and they basically do an Austin Powers bit, if you've seen Austin Powers.
No.
If you know what it is, then you know what it is. That's all I'll say.
God, I've never seen Austin Powers, but I do know a lot of shit happens.
It's aged in a number of ways, for better or worse.
It's like,
But hey,
like Austin.
At least,
Like,
at least Austin Powers knows what consent is. You cannot shame him for that.
Look towards James Bond.
nah, if you want to do James Bond, that's what that's what Gaiden is for.
Exactly.
Yeah, like honestly, there's a specific Austin Powers joke that I know that people really like, and they basically do that in the trailer for Yakuza 8. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you know, then you'll know. If you want to watch it, you can go ahead. I'm not your mom.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'd hope not. You're a man.
Alright, and I will say this lastly about the anime. It does do this one scene at the end, like the second to last episode, more or less. Like, if you've already played the games, like all of us have, it's not gonna mean shit, but they try and kill off Dante by stabbing him to a wall and just leaving him there. And if you know the games, that means jack shit, but they play it off as if he's actually dead. I do like the line that he makes when he actually comes back into action. It's just like, look, I was just having a nice nap and then you had to go and fucking ruin it.
That's even like an exaggeration.
They stab him to a wall. He just fucking walked forward through the blade.
He just like sighs, rolls his eyes, and he like shuffles forward.
Really? Like your no, I know.
He's like 6 inches above the ground, so he like has to wiggle out. He's just really annoyed by the end of it.
He's like, I know.
Arashi, you were saying?
Yeah, I know a perfect way to describe that scene. It's like it was one of those. It was one of if you've seen Someone Call Me Johnny, you know, it was one of his. It was the Sonic Adventure 2 review, where Eggman blew up the moon. First time watchers, long time don't make Cry fans.
Says Pepsi.
Or it's just that Monty Python scene where it's just like Dante's on the left. Like, look, I'm not dead. What? I'm not dead. Wait, he's just not dead. Yes, he is. I'm not. He clearly is. You're not fooling anyone. I'm getting better. No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment. I think I'll go for a walk. You're not fooling anyone.
I don't know why, but whoever said like drinking a Pepsi, all I want to see is like, you know, the like the scene where it's like Virgil like holding the Yamato like towards the camera. Mm-hmm. I want someone to like fucking edit like a Bud Light can into his hand.
No, we'll do you one better. White Monster.
Yeah!
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 Here, Dante, before we fight, you look tired. Have a nice, refreshing chalky milk.
Dante, could you hand me that travel-sized Jack Daniels?
just the fuck yeah! Cheers, bro!
Dante,
Cheers, bro.
Could you hand me my vegetarian milkshake, please?
Dante, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Speaking of which, hello, Nero.
Dante, could I get a Capri Sun?
Virgil, your portal summoning days are over. Give me the Capri Sun. You want it?
Oh my god! Oh god! Before this, I found out someone made a Super Mario 64 rendition of Bury the Light. And I just immediately thought of, hey Bowser, your princess kidnapping days are over. Give me the princess. If you want her, then you'll have to take her. But you already knew that.
You already knew that.
How
many times haven't we done this before? You know, honestly, I can buy like Mario and Bowser just being like, you know, just honestly, it's kind of the vibe they give off. Just like they do this just because they find it fun more than anything. Like this is just how they entertain themselves.
Yeah.
Unless it's Mario 3, because that one's
Also,
just flat out stage play.
Also, I almost forgot about 5, but I honestly will still never get over the fact that Nero got his arm back because of the power of love.
power of I don't want to see these, or the power of I'm not letting these two fucking idiots kill themselves.
The power of love is bullshit. The power of swords is violence. That's where the money is.
I don't know, man.
Nero, you see, that's why Nero's the best one. He uses all three at once.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure having a cool robo hand would be better than having a normal hand.
Too bad for you.
Kyrie can attest to this.
I don't know, that was a pretty spiffy hand he had before.
Look, Kyrie can attest to this.
What, rocket hand?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba!
You see that? She just likes writing about on the rocket hand, on the rocket arm.
Alright,
Yeah.
so we've beaten around the bush, more
We're talking
so
about
we've
anime,
lead up to it.
Yeah, okay.
Overall,
Reboot.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about the reboot. Now, before let me go off as someone who's actually as someone who's played through it and everything. I want to get everything I want to say out first.
Okay.
Honestly, I know where the fans are coming from. I understand it. I understand it all. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. I will say, if this game was detached entirely in regards to the franchise of Devil May Cry and its own knockoff, this game would not have received the hate it did.
Oh,
I firmly believe that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
100%,
If this were-
100%, yeah, it's really the name thing and just the context around it releasing.
Yeah.
Just because it was unneeded, like basically just an unnecessary reboot for it, just that was because of that was just an entire thing that Capcom was doing at the time that people just weren't fans of or didn't like. So it's
Yeah.
completely understandable the reaction to it. Granted, we could use a bit less. We could have used a bit less, 2010s era insults for the internet, but still, that's just the time that it released in. Honestly, I'd say this in terms of like being a game. The gameplay for it doesn't gel as well for a DMC type game, but I'd recommend it. Like, it's cheap, it's got a lot of content in it, it's fun. Like, you could do a lot worse for a fun hack and slasher than Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I mean, they add in, like, an interesting challenge where after you get, like, angel and devil weapons, they add in challenges where it's like you actually get to beat enemies that can only be beaten with certain types of weapons. So that includes a new challenge to the player.
Yeah, I should probably actually ask the Sozo. When you played it, did you play it on PC or consoles at all?
Oh, I played it on PS3 and PS4.
Ah, right. So you played the definitive one then, as well?
Yeah, I played both of them.
Ah, fair enough. I've only played definitive. I just did it on like turbo mode, which I think makes it a bit tougher. Just makes it really hard to get anything above a B rank for your style, for like your style rating.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. Honestly, it's a fun enough game. I will admit, I went into it with a weird expectation that kind of disappointed me because I went into it basically after seeing the fucking Spanish Dante memes, which kind of inspired me to get it.
Mhm.
But then I realized you can't
Yeah,
change the fucking voice language in that game without changing the entire language for your console. At that point, the subtitles are changed as well, so you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. So, rest in peace, El Dante.
I exterminated the demonios.
Yeah, by the way, to answer the question, Reboot Dante has the worst outfit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Honestly, as much as I will defend this game, I will say, yeah. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I liked Virgil's outfit a lot more.
His
Did he have a
I
fucking
really like his
fedora?
outfit. No, he didn't. Like in one.
Okay,
in one
he
scene,
had
didn't wear
one,
it
but his character model really didn't.
He didn't
Oh,
like,
wear it
in the game.
gameplay at all. I don't think he wore it in gameplay at all. Like outside of maybe one scene, but it was like a cutscene maybe.
I mean that jacket. I mean, if you actually look up like DMC Reboot Virgil's jacket, it actually has this really cool design to it.
Yeah, it kind of like flows into blue as well. It actually looks really good. I'll get a picture of it up. Actually.
Meanwhile, Dante's is just this big, just you can tell it's like a plastic overcoat with the UK flag on it.
Like he looks like he lives in the middle of a fucking in a caravan basically, or a trailer park so to speak.
Yeah, they do sell that right.
Here's what Reboot Virgil looks like, by the way.
Virgil looks like a fucking corpo.
Ironic, considering he's basically anonymous in that game.
Yeah, but he looks like he's from Detroit Become Human.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Oh my god, he does. I just realized that.
Also, I could be wrong, but I think he's also played by a Power Ranger. So either way,
The one thing-
was played.
The fucking collection is complete. It's all come full circle.
I'm Virgil. I'm Virgil, the android sent by Cyberlife.
I can't wait for Into the Virgil verse.
I will say the one thing I'm kind of saddened by is that the DLC is not like around the character they made for the game Cat, which I honestly think is one of the better characters
she's very good.
One of the better characters to come out of a DMC franchise, because she has this really interesting story where she was having all these different nightmares and everything. She like had this abusive father and ended up killing him and then wandering around limbo until Virgil found her. It's just like, it's this really interesting story that they don't unfortunately focus on. They gave Virgil his own story and that's it.
And honestly, I will say this. Well, the reason they did it was obviously just because people love playing as Virgil. Like, him being playable was, one of the best things about DMC3's Special Edition, and later on DMC4's, that was after, to be fair, but still. People just like playing as him, and, he did have an entire moveset to base it off of with his boss fight. And for what it's worth, I don't mind his characterization in this game. Like, it's a different style, different dynamic, at least up until the ending of the game, but still. I don't mind Reboot Virgil or Reboot Dante, honestly. They're both fine. They're both fine to me.
Okay, I will say, like, Reboot Dante is... Okay, I've seen, like, the whole lone wolf turn protector of the world, everything be done better. I have seen that, I will fully admit, but how it's done in the game is actually... Fine. Yeah, it's fine enough, because, like, he goes from the point of, like, pointing a gun at Cat and basically threatening to, like, kill her and say, I don't need your help. And as time goes on, you see him develop this sort of connection with Cat to the point where he actually is, like, more than willing to, like, sacrifice, like, the world just to get Cat out of the hands of Mudness and everything. Like, there's legitimate character development for Dante, which I actually think is really good.
Yeah, there's also one moment he has that does get a laugh out of me, for, like, just more like a chuckle out of it, but it's like, when he's, like, sarcastically asking Kat what her backstory is, she kind of mentions, like, she just basically says, the entire piece of... One sec, guys.
You don't have your license.
Okay.
Your license should be on that podcast.
Heard you talking about DMC Reboot!
You got a license for that.
FBI, open up!
You're on talking. It's illegal in this country.
Anyway, while he's what's going? Rashi, you got any thoughts on the reboot?
I admittedly do not. I was broke when it came out, and I honestly didn't care for it.
What, you're saying you aren't right now?
No. Look, man, I'm always broke.
You know what? That's not fair.
All right, I'm back.
Look, alright, I got $5 on hand, how many do you got?
Wow.
You got a 20.
What's your...
I asked my friend for $5, forgetting that he's also homeless.
I'm paying you $5 to fuck off.
I don't know, man.
$10. That's not to buy the TMC HD collection.
Anyway.
But,
Obsidian, you were saying?
Yeah, sorry?
Oh, sorry.
No, what's up?
Okay, so I was asking Arashi, did you want to finish? Or?
Yeah, sorry, basically it's just like...
Okay, hold that thought, Obsidian. Arashi goes first, and then Obsidian. Let's make that.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead, Obsidian. I'll go after you.
You got stage fright.
Oh my god!
I was just saying before, like, one funny moment is, like, when the scene in the car where Dante's, like, asking Kat what her backstory is, like, kind of sarcastically, she gives her entire backstory being abused and that, and just, you can see him mouthing out the words, fuck me. Just, like, really, like, looking kind of like, oh shit, was it? Like, I guess a chuckle out of me, that's all I was seeing. This is like a funny moment.
Hey, yo, I was just kidding.
I mean it. Oh, fuck. I killed the mood.
Oh, fuck.
Ninja, you got any thoughts on the reboot?
Not really, other than from what I hear, the way that, like, the fucking Capcom Twitter reacted to the complaints was pretty bad.
Didn't they say something like, if you don't like Dante as is, fuck you?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
that was-
but
that was
it's
the-
like,
that-
you
that
don't
was the
like
director
Dante,
of-
we don't care.
It was the game's director, basically. Like, I think he basically used the
Yeah.
comparison that, like, Dante, basically, what was cool about 10 years ago isn't cool now. And if Dante, as he looked in, like, you know,
Oh.
the main DMC games, walked into a bar outside of Tokyo, he would have been laughed out. I think that's also where the gay cowboy thing came from.
Ah.
Anyways, something else to praise about DMC, the reboot, is art direction. Like, its entire visual style is actually really cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, the
I like
The entire
DMC's
concept of
direction.
Limbo
Also-
and visuals.
Also, like, I have to say, fucking banger of a soundtrack. Oh my god.
Yeah, acquired taste.
Like-
I like Bill O'Reilly's theme.
I think
That's
Well,
one
Yeah,
thing
they
that-
have Bill O'Reilly. I almost forgot that.
I think one thing we can agree upon with like most Capcom games is they have such good soundtracks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And it's not just
And
like
and then there's that one Resident Evil game was that like that fucking PS1.
oh, you mean the basement theme? Yeah. That
Yeah.
wasn't in the original. That was not in the original. That was in the director's cut.
Right or wrong, it's still funny. Shut up.
Music.
Yeah. What? You're telling me you don't like a badly played tuba?
You don't like the sound of a you don't like his one YouTube comment sound up the sound of a clown orgy.
Badly played tuba, no tuba.
I miss the comments with honestly, going to that song on YouTube is great. Going to that song on YouTube is great. Just reading the comments for people comparing what it sounds like to them. Or just like the sound it gives off. Like that's always really fun to read.
It's like the original version of Seabat.
Yeah, like okay, I do want to say one thing with it. I mentioned the visual design of it being really good. I did have one like bizarre glitch though, which of course happened on probably the most visually really nice looking level in the game. Where okay, you know how some games have when games load out their textures, they have like the base model with the base textures, then like the extra ones get put on top of it for like cutscenes and like, area designs.
Yeah.
For some reason when I was playing it, it didn't load those extra textures on it. So I was playing through the entire game with like basically the like the unloaded low quality texture versions of them, going through the entire fucking nightclub level with it. Like it was just like the most fucking bizarre glitch. Like it was fine gameplay wise, just everything looked like it was a fucking PS1 or Dreamcast era model or something like that. It was bizarre.
Honestly,
Yeah,
like in
everything
terms
looked-
of what I like about the NC5, okay, if I have to say soundtrack, like okay, I don't know, like Never Surrender is a really good song to me. I like it. Like Calm Christ, like no offense to Calm Christ, like I do think they did a really good job. Also, like the song when you fight Mundus' spawn, it's just like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's the actual name of the song, by the way, which I think is fucking great. I love it.
I'm still upset when he's not called Mundus Jr. I don't know why, just that name is funny to me. Like I can remember Bob Barber's theme, and actually that's a question. What do we think of the boss fights in Reboot?
Personally, okay, I'm gonna say very like, I would say more gimmicky than the original series, because like they
For the most part, yeah.
they want you. They absolutely like. They like to. It's part of that gameplay where it's just like they're really encouraging you to use specific mechanics after you really get them. Like the game bosses after a certain point really want you to take advantage of the grapple hook. Like that's what it wants to do, and then hack and slash, which is okay for maybe a couple of bosses and enemies here and there, but when pretty much every enemy gets boiled down to using the grappling hook and then getting in, it's just like, yeah.
Yes, it's less. But to be fair, like DMC4 kind of did that as well, but it was like much less egregious, just because the bosses are designed. There's a different design mentality for the bosses in that game. Like if you tried to do that on like Burial and stuff, like the fucking Fire Demon and that, it would be a lot less successful.
Yeah.
I'll say like in terms of the bosses, visually, I think they're all a lot stronger visually in terms of like being spectacles. The only ones I think kind of avoid that are like the first boss.
Keep going. Keep going. I gotta take this. Hang on.
I'd say like the first boss and like the final fight with Virgil are like the ones that kind of avoid that, because the Virgil one is actually really fun. I'd say. Like unironically, that's a really fun final boss. I don't know. What do you two think, Ninja? What's your opinion on the bosses of your favorite game?
I like a lot of the bosses in DMC5.
I'm talking about the reboot.
Oh fuck. I like them out halfway. I don't know anything about the bosses except for like the one where you're basically fighting the news.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, that's the only one I know somewhat about.
Yeah,
Armstrong dressing up as a news anchor.
You know, when you said favorite game, I was half tempted to talk about Bloodborne. Not gonna lie. I was willing.
But don't you hear? But I thought Bloodborne was certified #trash. It was certified D tier. D for Dark Souls. Am I right?
Look, alright, are
Dark
we
Souls
sure
Light,
that we?
D for Dark Souls Light.
I mean, no offense to Arashi here, considering this is his girlfriend we're talking about, but are we really sure we're able to trust her word?
I mean, if she thinks it's funny, then yes. Actually, to be, I'm slightly disappointed that Smug couldn't be here with us just because of the fucking bizarre concoctions that would happen with the text-to-speech, with the fucking soundboard and like text-to-speech program.
You know, fucking. I'm surprised Smug hasn't tried to kill me already, considering I make fun of her height a lot.
And to be fair, I've done it as well. The difference is I'm pretty sure I've got at least one ocean between me and her.
I don't.
Oh, you live in Greece as well. That's good to know.
No.
Ohio was anyway. You know, Ohio is like Mully Island. It appears wherever it wants to appear.
But yeah, I have no knowledge except for the Bill O'Reilly fight, so I can't really give my opinion.
Yeah, no. I think it's because the Bill O'Reilly fight is probably the most unique fight.
It's the one that people talk about. Yeah, it's been like the most fun one at the very least. Like the most visually distinct and interesting. Because the virtual fight's not very interesting set piece wise. It's just mechanically the most difficult and the most challenging. Like it feels like a final boss. Just not on the same level as like actual series virtual. Also, Sonic has Eggman be the final boss 3 games in a row, but when DMC does it, suddenly it's a problem.
Well, yeah, you can't.
Well, two in a row, but still, like the reboot had Virgil as the final boss, then obviously DMC5 did as well. Not 3 times actually, because you fight him as Dante, then you fight him as Nero. You fight Virgil as Virgil.
Do you fight Virgil as Virgil?
I don't. I think maybe in Bloody Palace mode.
Actually, in DMC3 Special Edition, you 2 fight Virgil as Virgil as Dante's current colors.
Yeah, red Virgil. Which
Red Virgil.
I mean, they use the exact same character models. So that could just be like Dante. That could just be Dante having stole Virgil's jacket. And like slicks his hair back, or just Dante having slicked his hair back or something.
Well, yeah, that's the thing I like about Virgil and Dante's outfits, is they're like the exact opposite of each other.
Yeah, Virgil's class, Dante literally just chucks
Dante's the crackhead you find on the street.
In multiple contexts. There are multiple universes, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, we're kind of running out of things to talk about, I guess, for DMC, but I don't know, it's kind of... DMC is an interesting series, actually. Like, it was born from a fucking Resident Evil series, and then just kind of became much more action-focused than that, kind of carved its own identity with it, but I don't know, it's an interesting one. Also, it's apparently it's set in the same universe as Bayonetta, possibly, so that's interesting as well.
No.
Well, okay, not officially, because obviously different companies, but like there's several ties in between them because they had the same director.
I need a Bayonetta tie-in with DMC, please.
Well, kind of a fun fact actually, Ninja. This is Ninja. I've got a fun fact for you, by the way. In DMC, not just like in some of like the graphic novels and that, Dante has an informant that helps him in some of them, and he even gets name dropped in the first Devil May Cry's manual. What's that informant's name?
What?
Enzo.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. I'm back.
Yep.
Anyway, where was I?
Don't mind me. Anyway, I just blew. We were talking about bosses, and I just gave Ninja a big lore dump that blew his mind.
Oh well, that saved me some time.
Finally, we're gonna have Enter
Yeah,
the
so
Kamiya-verse.
Yeah.
Camilla.
I will say, in terms of the reboot, in like story points, there are two particular things I like about this story with the reboot. The first being, they introduced like this character that kind of like he's introduced like in 2 missions, like where you have to go and face off against Bill O'Reilly here, and his name is Phineas, and yeah. His name is Phineas, and he's like he introduced him as like a scholar, Inspector Prophet, and everything. What I like is that he has this scene where he's about to walk off a bridge. Dante goes like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what? Are you fucking nuts?" Phineas goes, "That's right. You and I see things differently. You only see evil in me because I'm a demon. See things differently can open new paths. Try opening your mind. It's all a matter of perspective." I like that scene, and also next to that is just like Dante's like, "Look, I just want to kill the demon named Mundus." Phineas, "Okay, if you kill Mundus, then who's gonna take his place?" I like how that just sets that up.
Yeah.
And then also next to that, is there is a scene where it's just like they like everything is compromised, everything is going to shit, and Mundus is like pretty much breaking and killing everybody. I like the scene where it's just like Dante's just believing for dude, just give me a fucking minute, and then actually like tries to instruct Kat on what to do in this situation, and just
just so she doesn't get killed. Yeah, also like how he was that entire level was really good as well, just for like him helping her through like going through level and helping her just like to stay alive and escape, just giving her
that was interesting. I really wish the game would have used more of that, honestly. That was a really interesting way to play.
Yeah. The reboot had its good points, and we're also talking about like we're also kind of ranking the bosses in it as well. I guess like, did you get as far as that Sozo, or were you away by then? Like the reboot's bosses, just like what you thought of them.
Yeah, the reboot's bosses. I was in the middle of talking about them, and then I got a phone call. I would say, probably, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like the best fight in the entire game is honestly the final one, because of actually kind of how different it legitimately is. Because like the first fight against like the Hunter Demon is just alright, so you just gotta avoid his knife. The second boss fight, I believe, is with the like the secret ingredient is just like evade like which platform is the floor is lava, evade those platforms. Third fight, Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. The third fight, which is Bill O'Reilly, is just smash the ground, and then fourth fight, which is Mundus, is honestly, I don't even remember how that fucking fight went.
I think it was you beat up Mundus Jr., then he unvored his mother, so you had to go and beat her up. For a bit.
Oh yeah, that one. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, you, like look up. Okay, we're not kidding. We are not kidding. Like, look up the actual boss fight for the nightclub level in DMC Reboot. Like. Legitimately, that is in
the actual boss is called like Mundus Spawn or something.
Yeah, and then there's actual Yeah, I remember how that fight went, and it was gross. It was gross, but I think that's all really had going for it in the grand scheme of things. Also, it gave way to one of the lamest retorts to the response of "You're not on the list," because Dante knocks out the guy, takes his clipboard, which I already thought was, that's fucking. That's just comical, but that's fine. And he's like, "And now," drops it, and on the sign he says, "Fuck you." I'm like, you could have gone more clever with that, man.
In your own name. Have, alter it to actually make it make sense.
Just put an Exterminio de Demonios and then just leave it at that.
Yeah, like make Dante Spanish. Just give him a Mac. Just like play a Mexican, just like Mexican style music in the background, and you've suddenly got the perfect Mexican soap opera.
Give him Raiden's attire from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Just give him a poncho and a sombrero.
That's it.
Piento, it's Dante. I like you felt so fucking jovial in that cutscene. I fucking love it.
Italian Dante.
And then there's like the final.
No, sorry, that video was interesting because there's actually a comment under from Jacksepticeye from 10 years ago, and it's just that Dante looks like angry. Just that Dante looks like Angry Joe.
As for like the the second to last boss against actually Mundus, again, like that stuff where it's just like I don't really remember how that went.
It's just a big
honestly.
it's just a giant spectacle boss. There's not really much to it fight wise. It's like
Yeah.
honestly, it's like a lamer version of the Savior from 4, if I could compare it to something.
Yeah,
'Cause
honestly.
I actually don't mind that. I don't mind that fight yet.
Yeah. But when it came to Virgil, like
Oh, that's the best
legitimately,
fight in the
there
game.
are
Like, that's a great.
yeah,
that's a really good
there's
fight.
actually some new stuff here. Like, yeah, you get to use the grappling hook, but it's utilized in a different manner in terms of like what you do. He actually has a means to like block different attacks and whatnot. Like, you gotta get creative. That's what I liked about the final boss.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of joked about this with them, but well, when Sonic does Eggman 3 final bosses in a row, everyone complain. When DMC has Virgil the final boss 3 times in a row, everybody fucking loves it. Because I'm not joking, it was in the reboot. Then there was Dante's final fight in 5, then Nero's final fight right after that, and they're all Virgil.
Yep.
Plus yours as well.
And then technically speaking, with the DLC in 5, that's 4.
Finally, we
That's
get really
4!
into the Virgil verse.
DMC 5, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and he was the final boss. And he was the final boss in 3 as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all I've got. Anyway, but yeah, DMC. Virgil, thank God, Virgil, you gave us the best fight in the game. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Now go. Be sad because you're not even. Be sad because you're never gonna get to be a demon king.
Go listen to Licking Parts Crawling.
No, like listen.
Literally,
no,
okay,
even the full-
who knows about
Not even the full
okay,
one.
who knows about the DLC to the reboot?
I
The one where you play as Virgin? Yeah, I know about it.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the whole story is okay. So they are very vague about this, but I don't know if they allude to it actually being real place, but they allude to the idea where it's like Virgil decides to cut people out of his life literally by killing Dante, Cat, and his mom. And just going like, my heart is black now, and I'm going to be taking my power, and now I'm evil.
Like,
I'm not kidding. That's how it goes.
That's a shame because honestly, Virgil is like, it's so fucking weird because up to that last cutscene, like Virgil has some skeevy stuff, but there's like very little indication that he wants to be like the conqueror of humanity and that. Like, he actually get a dick a few times, but like, you don't really get like I want to rule the world vibe. It's just like well-meaning terrorists basically. Most terrorists don't want to rule the world and lead humanity.
Yeah, like he has this inside of him of being like what's the greater good. He's the greater good. Where Dante is like kind of an antithesis, where it's like he is more of like what's best for humanity, but Virgil is more in the sense of what's best for the greater good.
Honestly, it's kind of like it kind of fitting for a game with like angels and demons. It's kind of like an order versus chaos thing in a way as well.
Yeah,
like
they could have really worked with that.
Yeah,
like work with that, but they kind of dropped the ball more so, and went honestly black and white really with the finale.
Yeah, like have Dante be more angel inspired, like a chaotic angel, and Virgil like a more order obsessed demon. Basically wanting to be what Mundus was in a sense. Because he was kind of that. He was he was a banker. He was the kingpin. He was the kingpin, but he turned into a giant rock monster at the end. He can't even get his own name right.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
I will say, like, when it came to the reboot, I think, like, I don't know, it's just like, when it came to the reboot, I feel that, when it came to, like, Virgil's character, like, there was sort of, like, indications along the way where it's just, like, it feels like more actions are justified for this particular route, but it's just, like, nothing really instinctified where it's just, like, this was your particular route that you wanted to go down of ruling over everyone like Mudness. Because, like, there are things where it's just, like, they decide to trade Cat because she was held prisoner at this time
scene,
for Mudness's kid, and they have a trade-off. And, everything goes well, and then Virgil decides to, like, just blow the kid's brains out!
And his mother.
And then, yeah, and in her mother, it's just like... It's just like,
I understand doing it. The big question I have is, why the fuck did you not wait until Cat got back to the actual car, where Dante could easily protect her?
That's what I'm thinking. It's just like, wait at the very least until she's in arm's reach of Dante, and then fucking pull the trigger. Because, like, even Dante goes like, dude, what the fuck?
yeah, like for two reasons. One, you know, it's a fucked up thing to do regardless, and two, you know, nearly got us all killed, you fucking twat.
Yeah.
Like,
I get the reason why, you know, like, he had to. Like, on one hand, yeah, I mean, grand scheme of things, if Mudness gets his way, like, everything's gonna go to shit. But on the other hand, there's better ways of going about that, man. Like, you couldn't, hell, he had, like, this whole underground network or something. You couldn't tell me, you're mean to tell me that, like, he couldn't have knocked her out unconscious and then administer, like, a poison or some shit that killed her as soon as she was back with, like, Mudness and everything? Like, play the long game.
I think the main thing with it is because Mudness gets powered by that big gate to hell that makes him nearly invincible. He wanted to like get someone that gets like a big fucking reaction where he can see and sense or see it, just so like he has, you know, at that point he's recharging, so at that point they have a chance to deal with him pretty much. I think that's like what his plan was with that. It's just, you know, he went about it in the most destructive way imaginable. Got like several thousand people killed probably. But yeah,
and I'll also say last note that level is by far the best use out of the grappling hook.
Yeah, well, it's a short one. It's basically just all grappling.
Yeah,
all grappling basically.
Yeah, they got enemies, but I mean it's also like on a timer and everything. It's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. It's rad.
I also like I think I brushed over this, but I also like the whole thing. Or I guess like the first time she puts up a portal to Limbo, she's like, "What's this made out of? Like, what this stuff? It's sounds horrible. What's made out of?" And she's like, "Well, it's made out of squirrel hair and rat feces and then mole semen." And then he rubs it on her jacket. He's like, "Good stuff." I like stuff like that. And then she like later on she makes like it's like, "What is that? Neg timer?" Well, it's actually a compound made out. And it's like, look, I don't need to know. I like that. But yeah, overall, Devil May Cry Reboot, it's a fine game. Has some sore points and whatnot. It ultimately would have benefited by just being its own thing instead of being attached to the franchise.
Yeah, but honestly, I think at that point it's kind of the catch-22 of, let's say it was, at that point, even if it was like the exact same game without that, you know, change the names to like Derek and Victor, whatever, for the main characters.
Yeah.
At that point, like
Boingo and Boingo.
Yeah, but, yeah. Ernie and Bernie.
Yeah.
Add the third. Add a third one. Add and Eddie.
It's Tim, Kim, and Jim.
Tim and Jim.
I can more or less guess what
Tim
you're about
Curry
to say.
And Jim Curry.
More so, Sidian, I can kind of guess what you're about to say. Is it more so in the sense of, like, if it was standalone and of its own thing, where the idea of, like, actually comparing it to Devil May Cry and seeing it as the better version of that?
Not so much that. I was more so meaning, let's say it was that. Like, bear in mind, Ninja Theory's done stuff like, say, Enslaved Odyssey to the West and Heavenly Blade. Those are both games that are, you know, well liked. They're both well known. They're both, like, enjoyed by people who played them. But the thing is, not many people outside of those who played them remember them. So with this game, like, you know, whatever it's called, whatever it would have been called in this alternate timeline, if it was made the exact same way, would people really care about it is what I'm wondering, or like, would people even know about it? Like, it being, like it or not, it being named as it is, like, made it a game that sold 2 million copies, basically, which, you know, reputation notwithstanding, it's still, like, one of the biggest successes that they had up to that point. I think the biggest one. So there's also the argument with that as well, of, like, you know, it got Ninja Theory's name out there, and, you know, got them a game that was over a million seller, basically, and got good reviews, definitely, like, from critics at least. So, yeah, like, there is kind of that whole thing of, would people actually know or give a shit about the game if it wasn't called or tied into Devil May Cry at all, and was just, like, its own standalone, fine enough action game?
That is a... Honestly, yeah, I know what you're saying, and that is a legitimate point to be made, because there's a lot of games out there where it's just like, they're actually really good, and they are very reminiscent of other games in big franchises, but they go down their own routes. But at the same time, it's just like, they're games that don't really have much, like, history tied to a company or anything, so they kind of go unsung and everything. And so I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I'm sure it would have obviously, like, had a much more positive reaction around it in that case from people who did play it, but, like, it would have sold like a few 100,000 copies at most, maybe, because it's like a late Xbox 360 game, or, you know, early next gen game, whenever they make it. But, you know, it's one of those things of, do wonder what if would have happened with this. Like, would DMC, like, would Devil May Cry have still be around with this? Would it have continued on and we got 5 sooner, or would it have just, have the series have just had the kibosh put on it since, I think Itsuno was finally ending the series after 4, or like stepping away from the series after that because they didn't have much ideas for it. So at least at the time, obviously. So it's just kind of a thing of, you do kind of wonder what if with stuff like this, if like something went slightly different, or things went slightly different with the series. Like we could have had that timeline where DMC5 was DMC Devil May Cry 2, which maybe name it something different, but we could have had that timeline at some point if this game resonated more with people, I suppose. So it's just kind of interesting to think about. I feel.
Yeah.
Because I doubt we're ever going to get like a sequel to the reboot. Let's be real, guys.
I gotta side with that, honestly.
I'm doubtful at the very least. Like,
it's possible, but doubtful.
Especially since like how successful 5 has been, because it's I think it's sold over 6 million copies in total now. It's like really damn successful.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a good question. We should probably close off on. That's honestly a good question. What if this series continues on to DMC 6? What are some hopes?
Honestly, the main thing is like, I think we can probably imagine Nero would probably be like, they'd probably want to make Nero the main character for it going forward, because like, Dante and Virgil's stories are kind of like, them being back for gameplay is fine, but like, I think it could be an interesting opportunity to like have Nero's gameplay there and new characters along with him, or like expanding on something like Trish and Lady's play styles. Maybe like, I don't know, bring back Lucia from 2 just to tie that back, because people. She's a character.
I forgot all about her.
Yeah, exactly. Give people a reason to give a shit about her. Like, bring her back. Make like her playstyle be like, a faster, more ninja-y type character. Maybe have Dante and Virgil be like unlockables for beating the game. Like, they just show up in like the post-credit scene, wondering like, I wonder what Nero's doing just now. Yeah, it's probably nothing exciting. Then just get back to fighting each other in hell.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, do you know where my nephew's been?
I have. You have one of those? You have one of those. You didn't tell me why.
I had an uncle? You had an uncle.
Oh, I feel like I'm forgetting something. If you forgot about it, it wasn't that important. Yeah, you're probably right. Just Patty sitting there looking all sad.
Just poor Nero, just like, damn, they really don't care about me. I told them to get along with each other, but now all they do is spend time in the retirement home playing checkers.
Then he stops, thinks about it, realizes, thank God. Like, Nero being away from them as much as he can is probably like the best thing for his mental health, honestly.
Alright, Ninja and Arashi, you guys got any thoughts for 6?
Nah. Not my area of interest, really. I just want to do more dumb shit as anyone in DMC.
Alright, what type of dumb shit do you want?
Like new dumb shit, or like refining the old dumb shit?
I kind of want to see. So one of my issues with like DMC5 is, at least, who knows? I might just be bad with the game, but I never really found like the guns, especially like Nier's revolver, that useful. So I don't know. Maybe expand upon doing like cool gun tricks, but that might just be my bad.
Okay, mate. That might just be what there. To answer your question, there's a way you can go too far with that, and I'm tying it back to this again. It's called Devil May Cry 2.
I know. Well, here's the thing. The issue of DMC2 was guns had way too much hit stun. That was the problem.
And power,
right?
To be frank.
Yeah.
I'm not
and I know, but it was still really boring because all you're doing is shooting the gun. I don't know. I want to see cool shit. The closest we got was Gunslinger with like, I don't know, the shotgun. In 5.
Like, I think maybe having someone else with like style switching, but like different styles. Like I mentioned the Yakuza one, but like, give a different playable character and have them have like their own styles that are completely original, or like different spins on like what Dante does. Like one that could be based around breakdancing, or using, or a more like gun kata focus, or like quick slashes, whatever.
We find a giant Dante fan who doesn't quite know how Dante does it, but he tries his best. Also,
I'm just gonna say it again. If you bring if you bring Spanish Dante into this series from that point on, you're alright in my books at that point. That way you'll still have a Dante.
Yeah.
Or hell, you know what? Actually, no,
No.
that's a good point. Actually, that's a good one. Actually, have someone who has like reboot Dante's, like, or a fine version of his gameplay as like the other playable character.
I was gonna say, why don't we like have like a joke scene where they find like reboot Dante's outfit?
Not in a billion years.
Just make a call back to that. Not in a billion years. And then it just rips it off.
It's just like
No, he just-
it looks like this is the outfit of a pretentious prick.
I look like a.
No, this needs-
It's,
this needs
no, it's just like
right.
he finds an he finds an outfit, he goes shopping, he finds an outfit. It's just like, wow, I feel like kind of an asshole.
This is what kids are wearing these
This
days.
is what kids are into nowadays.
I need to keep Curio.
Arachi, any thoughts?
Honestly,
I see. Well played, well said.
I agree, Bender from Futurama.
But his microphone's broken. Or I guess just his voice box.
It might be poor connection on his side.
Yeah,
You can hear your
My man.
thoughts.
my man out here set the bots to auto loot.
I wanted something for Devil May Cry 6. It's
Yeah.
aside from stuff with Nero or probably bring Lucia back. Other than
Thank you. Yeah.
that, maybe I'll see more. I don't know if because at the end of the anime, Patty did come back. I don't know, do more stuff with her.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, though, if we don't get to, honestly, I don't know, DMC5 does kind of feel like, it's made with the idea that, you know, it could continue on, but if it does wind up ending there, I don't know, it does feel like a satisfying ending to, like, Dante and Virgil's story at the very least.
Yeah, it's
Like,
definitely an
wraps things
ending
up.
Yeah,
to
it
Dante and
does.
Virgil.
It feels like
It
it, feels like
does,
it
it
ends
does.
in that point where it's just, you know, they can continue, but if it does finish there, you know, at least it feels like a good ending point, regardless.
It's open-ended enough to leave more for possibilities, but it's also closed-ended enough to the point where it's like if they want to cap it there, it's perfect.
Yeah, so it doesn't have a DMC4 situation where there's a bunch of unanswered questions. Or, God
Yeah.
forbid, the reboot.
I forget, did they ever find out who killed Dante and Virgil's mom?
Yeah, it was Mundus.
Demons.
Oh,
Mundus.
okay,
Or his demons in that.
okay,
No, it's like-
I didn't
yeah,
know.
No, it's like
Yeah,
basically Mundus is a big dick. He's also much taller than Dante, so that could be literal, but he's also made out of eyeballs and hands, so
So, honestly, for 6, I'm gonna get a little creative here. I want to see, like, I know this categorizes in terms of dumb shit, but I want to see, like, different weapon creativity. Like, you know, like swords and gauntlets and all that. It's like, it's fine, but it's just, like, there's a bunch of weapons you can take inspiration of for this. Like, get creative. I mean, you guys, like, Capcom, you guys, like, already made a bike into a weapon. Like, I want to see... I don't want to see necessarily the bar elevated for that as much as I want to see what other crazy shit you can pull out of that. And next to that, honestly, I might be in the minority here, but I honestly think it would be interesting if they wanted to make, you know, another female protagonist for this.
I'd be
Maybe,
fine
I
with
don't know. Yeah, like, perhaps, like, I don't know, Kyrie and Nero could have a kid, or some shit like that. It's very possible, honestly.
yeah, like
And on it, like, because here's the thing: is just like I know Devil May Cry, you know, has gotten a history of being like it's like, oh, this game is like, what's that fucking meme of the lady journalist where it's just like, this is why I don't like games because it
The male
appeals to the
fantasy.
fucking
Male
male
fantasy.
fantasy.
yeah,
But
there's a post
meanwhile,
picture of
the
Majima
girl.
from Yakuza 0. There's fucking dance.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the girls in Devil May Cry, you can ask anybody who's a one-time fan, they're kick-ass. Like, yeah, they have sex appeal, but they'll also like absolutely like put you under their foot. Like they are
Harder,
fucking
mommy.
badasses.
Honestly, that applies for
Hey, you
both.
said not
They're
me.
both in there. They're both in
You said not me.
maybe not. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
not Trish. That's a bit of an odd one. But ladies definitely in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah. Yeah.
MILF Trish,
Honestly,
please.
And
she is the most broken character in DMC4, so yeah, she literally could kick your ass 6 ways to Sunday from from Monday.
Yeah, I mean, there is potential here to go down more of a route, like, and hell, it doesn't, like, the one thing I don't know, personally for me, I never really thought the strongest point of DMC was the story. And in the grand scheme of things, I thought when it came to the story, sometimes it was relatively predictable or whatnot. But at the same time, it's just like, I wasn't really there for, like, the story or anything. I was there for the gameplay. I was there for the quick jabs and everything. I was there for, like, the characters. That's what I was there for.
Yeah, the story's, like, tertiary, honestly. Like, gameplay is number one. Having fun characters is number two, I'd say. Like, enjoyable characters people like being around. Then the story is after that. Is like, as long as you've got those, then, you know, the story itself doesn't need as much, I'd say. Like, like, it's not something that people focus on as much. Like, you know, there's games in the series that have good stories, like 3 and 5, obviously, are the obvious ones there. But I don't know, it's something that people focus a bit less on outside of just having, you know, fun scenes and characters.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, there's
but
a reason.
yeah.
Even DMC 1 and that way, there's not really too much of a story. There's not really too much of a story in that one. Like, in terms of like what you see cutscene wise, people like it just because, you know, the scenes in Dante being Dante, basically.
Dark Souls Light.
So pretty much we have been almost going on for 3 hours. I think we should start ending it here. So any like last thoughts or anything you want to leave off on?
I guess
Not
like
quite as hot.
if we've all played, I hope not for myself. It's 1 in the morning nearly. Just a quick thing. I suppose the last thing is like rank. I suppose like all 6 games, if you played them all, how would you rank them worst to best? Like including the reboot. You know, like, just for like the sake of fuck it.
Worst to best.
Worst to best for like all the ones that you've played, I suppose.
All right.
Like the
2 reboot 4 1 3 5.
Okay. Ninja, do you have any that you'd like to put in, or?
No, from my understanding of the series, that's basically what I would say.
All right, I'll be slightly different. I guess. I'll go for, well, not very different to start off with. 2, then 1, then the reboot, then 4, then 3, then 5. Okay, not that different, but I put 1 lower. That's the main thing.
Alright.
Arashi, what about
And
you?
then, obviously, Arashi's gonna start with 3.
Oh yeah.
If I had to actually put it on a list, it would be 2, 3. No, not 3. I'm an idiot.
You will.
Okay.
The mind tricks.
2, 1, 4, 5, and 3.
What about the reboot?
I haven't played the reboot.
What about it?
Oh. But,
Yeah, he never played it.
Well, I never played it either, but I still, just from my understanding of what I've seen.
Okay,
of
from what you've heard, Arashi, where would you rank it?
Let's say right above 2.
That's
Okay.
fair.
I'd say,
Just
like,
2 is that hard.
I think like the reboot's a more
Yeah, I
fun
think-
game. Like it's more finished, but honestly, 4 is just a more fun game to play.
Yeah.
I'll say
But,
reboot ranks higher for me on 2 simply because I played through it all. That's it.
Yeah, that's about it. That's why I laughed when for Devil May Cry 5 when you did the history of Devil May Cry auction. The anime did the fucking full thing. DMC2 gets like 1 line.
I played that in the trailer.
I
this
mean,
week.
that's about like what it amounted to in the story.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
like,
mean,
what?
Dante goes kills an evil businessman, kills Argo, like Sax.
Dante
the
killed big
Anglo-Saxons,
business. Okay, that's
and then
it.
goes riding off into hell to go beat people up. And he's killed a lot of games with him killing businessmen, like DMC2, the reboot.
Yeah.
I guess Arkham.
Okay.
I guess Sanctus.
I thought you were gonna say Arkham Knight. I was like, what?
No, Arkham. That's the bald man.
We all know the true continuation to Devil May Cry after 5 is Shin Megami Tensei.
No, that's after 2.
Don't.
That's what happens. No, that's what happens after 2. That's what happens after DMC 2. Dante goes raiding off and he winds up in the world of the conception.
To those out of the loop, in an SMT game, you can actually play Dante as a secret boss.
Not just fight him, but get him in your party.
Yeah, like that honestly does make sense. Like he's had some time to chill out. He's away from.
And isn't it also the DMC2 design?
Yeah, well, to be fair, that was the most recent game at the time, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Plus, it's fucking sick. Plus, it's like a sick design, as we established.
Chicken my ass.
Sick design, shitty game.
Yeah.
Alright,
Also,
so
yeah.
I think ultimately that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I think we've
nothing
said.
major
I think
anyway,
we've covered
nothing
it
major anyway.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for this to end. That way, Sozo allows me to put my fucking clothes back on.
You say that as if I'm like the fucking dude, the fucking dude from Sozo's Lambs. It rubs the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Benjamin, dude, just a quick thing. Have you considered buying an ice pack? Like, not even a fan of that. Just like, because obviously that would like fuck up the microphone.
It's this new state-of-the-art invention called ice.
No, you don't understand. I literally have a box fan on right now.
Damn.
It's
In the
hot.
grand scheme of things, I am just waiting to like end this so that I can turn on my AC finally. But as we
let's wrap this up. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure Sozo's gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
and they just hear, and then just as soon as you hear that, you just hear, and then it's just me going silent the entire time.
You just hear like it's just like Half-Life or like
And then-
run of HP.
No, it's just like that moment in Dragon Ball Z Abridged where it's just like the deer collapses and you hear like the kid go, "Daddy? Daddy?" Anyway, as we're leaving now,
Yeah.
anything you guys want to plug, social media or whatever?
I literally don't have any to plug, so
I have nothing that I want people to know about. So no thanks.
yes, we all know about For Affinity. No.
Mhm.
I already said fanfiction. Yeah, trying to pull it full circle. Full circle.
No, none that I can think of, unless like anyone wants to look at the Twitter I don't use, which is just Ninja Warrior 1154. That's all it is. I haven't posted anything on there at all, and I made it like 3 years ago.
Arashi, you were saying?
Nah, I'm good. I don't got nothing.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, pretty much we're gonna end it here. Thank you all so much for joining me, and just as a reminder, like, you can follow me on Instagram, follow my art station for my portfolio and everything, and I got Ko-Fi set up now where it's if you want to pay for memberships, I'll even throw in for this special episode pretty much talk that we had before the actual podcast started, because I've been recording this beforehand. So I'm gonna edit I'm gonna edit the pre-recording beforehand. Like, I'm gonna edit that out, but you know, if you want to pay me some money a month, they can get it. They can get it there. They can watch it there.
You get to
Yeah,
see what we
Ninja.
talk about. hey!
This is our
Other than that, you all know the deal. Like, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitch, and also if you have any thoughts about, like, you know, DMC 1 through 5, the anime reboot, or even 6, like, what are your thoughts? Ultimately, just leave them in the comments and whatnot. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you to you guys specifically for joining me for this episode of Devil May Cry.
No issue. Fucking.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do something since summer break started.
Hey, I will give you some credit, Sozo. You found this entire retrospect, this podcast, got me off my hours to actually go and actually play the games. So, thank you. I'm really done with that,
Yeah.
I suppose.
I'll think about calling you guys back for a future game. I don't know what I'm gonna be really talking about in the future, but it's just like I'll have to keep an open mind on that and everything.
Well,
Yeah, just play something on Twitch. That'll give me some inspiration.
Yeah,
well, I mean, depending on if Sozo gets Guilty Gear, I can talk
Hey, if
about
I can,
Guilty Gear.
hey, I will say this right now. Honestly, if people want to donate to my Ko-Fi and everything and join memberships, I'll have enough money to Guilty Gear Strive, and we can talk about that.
I'm
No,
thinking like
you play the original. You play the Missing Link.
Missing
That's
Link.
pretty
Oh
fun.
god, that game is awful. That game is
I've
awful.
got. I have
why you
some
play
Guilty
it.
Gear games. I have some Guilty Gear games from a while back, so
I
do
know you
Guilty
have-
Gear.
I know you have Xrd, but I don't have that on PC.
Yeah.
I've gotten them a few on PS4 just because they're all dirt cheap, basically. I think I've got like
Yeah,
Revelator,
yeah.
Rev 2, and the original.
Yeah, I have Rev 2.
Yeah, but that is another conversation
Yeah.
for another day. Ultimately, it is like this has been going on for about 3 hours now. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, so I think we should get going.
Literally,
in this here.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, take care, everyone, and see y'all in the future.
See ya.
Remember, devil will never cry, so sanity is not the price to pay for power.
Well, I think we paid the price.
I am Mundus.
I failed to see the logic here.
So-